The NBA suspended Draymond Green for one game for stomping on the chest of Domantas Sabonis. Green will miss Game 3 of the Warriors-Kings playoff series. Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts had ankle surgery earlier this year. Turned out it came out pretty well. He signed an extension this week to become the NFL's highest-paid player. And the Texas Rangers, all they do is win, beat the living crap out of the Royals last night.
Mike Jimenez.
The San Antonio Spurs are the world champions.
Tim Spence.
Victory! Cowboys win!
It's showtime. It's Jimenez and Spence on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Jimenez and Spence at 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, on the go at ESPNSA.com. We are streaming live right now on YouTube. Subscribe to San Antonio Sports Star. My name is Michael Jimenez. That is Tim Spence. Tim, how you doing today, my man?
It is definitely time to talk about on the backside of the week.
That's right. It is Hump Day officially, correct?
Correct. It's Hump Day, and I am really, I've buckled up. I got the strap on, and
hello.
Yeah,
we're ready to go. We're ready to go.
Seatbelt strap.
There you go.
Strap it up. I don't know where your head. You get your head out of the gutter. I don't know where you went right there, but we're just ready to rock.
Interesting choice of words at lunchtime. Mike Jimenez, Tim Spence. You can catch us on Twitter. I'm at Mike ESPNSA. Spence is at Spence ESPNSA.
So it's going to be one of those days today?
It's going to be. I'm in a great mood today. But I do need you to help me out when it comes to two family issues, Spence. Two family issues. Be big brother for me on this one.
Oh, it's definitely not a big brother. Dude, I am with your wife 24/7 when it comes to you and her.
Okay. We agree on this one, though. My wife and I do agree on this one. My daughter, who's in 5th grade, it's her last month as an elementary student. She's in choir, and she has a performance tonight and tomorrow night. It's the exact same concert. So I asked her, baby, which one do you want me to go to? You want me to go to Wednesday nights, or do you want me to go to Thursday nights? And she looked at me and my wife and said, Mom and Dad, I want you at both performances. Am I obligated to go to both performances?
How old is she?
She's 10.
Of course you are.
To both? It's the same concert.
She's impressionable. She's 10 years old. When she gets into the 16, the 18 world, and she's working the school play, and there's, double shows and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, great. Pick one and I'll be there. Okay. But she's 10 years old, dude. Okay. If you're going to start copping out on, how long is it? Are you like busy at Thursday and Friday night?
No, it's just the same show. I mean, it'd be different if it was like, oh, well, she was doing soccer one day and she's doing choir the next. Those are two different activities. But to go to watch the same show.
So if
and
you
the reason why
you were 10 years old, dude, if you were 10 years old and your parents didn't come to everything you did, you'd be hurt, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Okay. She's going to be hurt if you don't go.
No. So we asked the question, can I go to Wednesday? Can the wife go to Thursday? She goes, no, I want you at both of those. So that's an issue that I have tonight. So I know I'll go to tonight. It's just whether or not I'm going to go to tomorrow night's show or if I'm going to be guilted into going.
So guilted into going? You're the one that said, yeah, drop $1,000 to go see Taylor Swift and, freaking
right.
Tokyo. Jump on a plane to take your kids to wherever she's playing because, $1,000. But you can't muster up a back-to-back freebie. It's at the school. It's not even $1,000. You can't muster up back-to-back days for your 10-year-old daughter.
Not only that, I live right next to the school. I mean, I'm literally behind the school. I can walk 5 houses and be on campus.
You actually have the guts to bring that story up today.
Another story about last night that I thought was kind of funny. Well, I found it to be interesting because I went to my son's special needs game. He plays Little League over at Northwest Little League. And there were these 2 teenagers who were mocking the special needs players on the field. And they were doing it under their breath, but we could kind of hear a little bit of what they were saying. Dude, the mother of those 2 teens lost her mind. And I've never been more proud of another parent just going after these 2 teenagers, taking their cell phones, telling them, go to the car. I'm going to continue watching this game. You stay in the car, no phone, roll up the windows, no radio. Want to applaud that mother right there for being a good mom.
She's a good mom, but what kind of dad are you? You're not going to your daughter's thing. I mean, come on.
Okay, another question for you. My nephew's getting married this weekend. And when I say this weekend, typically that's Saturday or Sunday. If I said wedding day, what day do you think that is of the week?
Friday or Saturday.
Okay, I think of weddings as being Saturday. Okay.
That's fine.
I've been to the occasional Sunday morning one as well. My nephew is getting married in Canyon Lake Friday afternoon. Friday afternoon. You and I have a show on Friday afternoon. So this is going to happen at 5 p.m. So I guess you could say early evening. So I'm going to be dressed in a suit doing this show on Friday and then racing out the door to go to my nephew's wedding. My question for you is, can you do the last two segments on your own? Just kidding. Just kidding. But going to Canyon Lake, I mean, I'm going to be fighting traffic, going out there. It's going to be a hassle. So my question for you is this, Spence. What if I just go to the reception? Is that bad? Or do you have to go to the actual ceremony?
Okay, once again, who's this related to?
It's my nephew. We're really close. We're close.
And you're not going to go to the wedding.
Well, the wedding's at 5 p.m. on a Friday.
Okay. First off, why did he make it at 5 p.m. on a Friday? Because he didn't know that you were working? And at the same time, you get off at 3. You can't make the wedding at 5? It's 2 hours away. It's 2 hours from that time.
It's probably about an hour and 15-minute drive from where we are right now, but I have to meet up with my wife and my kids.
How about they just go there and meet you there?
My wife doesn't get off work till 3 either. So we've got an issue going on with this. I was just doing the logistics in my head. Rush hour traffic on the way over there. I'm going to miss the ceremony.
If you got off at 2:00, you still would miss it because your wife's not going to be there unless you're going to go early. My point, she can't get off early?
No. And it's a very difficult thing because my wife, what she does for a living, there's only a couple of people at her work that do it. So because of that, it's either one or the other. One's got to be there. So my wife is probably going to work till about 3:00 or so. We're going to race out to Canyon Lake for this wedding. And then the question becomes, do we really want to spend $250, $300 a night to spend the night in Canyon Lake? Or are we going to just trek our way back for Saturday morning? Or are we going to just come back Friday night? So there's a lot going on this weekend between my daughter's concert tonight, daughter's concert tomorrow night. We've got Friday, we've got the wedding.
Okay.
Saturday, my kids got gymnastics. We've also got our golf thing.
I was just going to say, when are you going to squeeze in golf? When's the gymnastics?
And I need to practice. Oh, well, I'll have my wife take her to the gymnastics. That's no problem. Because you and I got to tee off.
So how far is the Canyon Lakes reception from your house?
From my house, about 2 hours.
Okay. So you're going to get up Saturday morning, potentially, 8:00, roll out, maybe get to the house by 10. We tee off at 12:30.
Okay. And you were complaining about that, by the way.
Well, it has nothing to do with it. We're teeing off at 12:30. So you're really going to be able to make it. You're going to pull a Rudy on Sunday last week.
Well, I was asking Rudy about that. I was like, Rudy, whatever you do, don't drink Friday night. He goes, man, we're not teeing off till past noon. So he and Pledger had that comment right there. They're not teeing off till past noon. So because of that.
And he's on your team. He's like, yeah, I don't care if we win or lose.
Oh, no.
I mean, I don't
believe that for 1 minute.
Like, Ernie stepped away because he's taking his kids to Taylor Swift. And, well, if there's 3 players, who cares? I don't really care.
Dude, I respect Ernie for going out there. Dude, I want to go. I would miss this concert for Taylor Swift. Pledger would too.
Golf?
Yeah. I would miss it for Taylor Swift in a heartbeat. And it's so funny because we had this conversation a couple of days ago about Taylor Swift and where she ranks among all the pop stars of the last 40 years. I believe she's the biggest since Michael Jackson. People have reached out to me on Twitter at MikeESPNSA to say, no, Madonna was bigger. No, Metallica was bigger. Or what about Nirvana? That those would be bigger bands. But we have a lot to get into. In fact, speaking of Nirvana, grunge music, at 1:45, we're going to talk about a new grunge album that will be coming out hopefully pretty soon, involving an iconic grunge singer who passed away years ago. Super excited to get into that conversation. But in this hour, we have a lot to get into because the NFL draft is next week, and a lot of people are talking about Bijan Robinson. Right now, he is skyrocketing up all the mock drafts, not just one, not just two, pretty much all of them. He's skyrocketing. We're going to talk about where Bijan should land. What would be the perfect spot for him to land? And what does Dak Prescott think of Bijan Robinson? At 1:30, should the Cowboys consider bringing back Zeke Elliott? That's right. That Ezekiel Elliott. He still needs a home. We're going to hear from some Cowboys talking about this. Should they bring him back? We have a poll on that, by the way, on Twitter at MikeESPNSA. Also follow San Antonio Sports Star on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook as well. 1:45. More draft talk, but this time involving the Houston Texans. Houston Texans have 2 first-round draft picks, number 2 and 12. Everybody believes that the Texans are going to take a quarterback at number 2, but instead of doing that, shouldn't they just trade for a quarterback? There's a name being batted around that makes a lot of sense, and it wouldn't cost them the number 2 overall pick in the draft. But when we come back, again, the NFL draft just over a week away, and now Dallas Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott is talking about what he thinks about Bijan Robinson. Jimenez and Spence on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the NFL Draft on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Pick is in. Let's go to the commissioner.
Dallas Cowboys select. This is going to be a fun player to watch.
Next Thursday, join 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star for this year's NFL Draft, live from Kansas City. Who do the Cowboys and Texans pick? Does Jerry make a splash? Who goes number 1? And who's the next Mr. Irrelevant? Find out right here on your exclusive home for the Cowboys. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
San Antonio is charging ahead, bucking the competition, grabbing opportunity by the horns, and watch us be relentless. This is your team. Experience more football. Experience XFL. Your San Antonio Brahmas close out the regular season against the DC Defenders at the Alamo Dome, Saturday, April 22nd at 2 p.m. Tickets on sale now. Visit xfl.com/tickets.
Gomez Law Firm has been taking care of the people of San Antonio for almost 50 years, the leader in personal injury law. Jose, tell us a little bit more about what you do.
We do ride-sharing cases, 18-wheeler cases. Obviously, we've done those for very many years. Work injuries. We will be happy to take a look at and see if we can help.
If you have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, then you need to visit joegomezlaw.com.
We've been around for almost 50 years, and we're not going anywhere.
Call the Gomez Law Firm at 736-4040.
My name is John. I could not lose the weight I needed to. The Institute for Functional Health Wellness Program was the answer. It included a great deal of testing, supplements, and weekly face-to-face doctor visits. I finally had the accountability I needed. I am now 50 pounds lighter. I no longer have pain in my elbow, back, and hips. I have more energy and just feel and look so much better.
Call for your complimentary consultation, 210-468-1891. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health.
It's Michael Jimenez with Jimenez and Spence, weekdays 12 to 3. People ask all the time, how can we become part of the San Antonio Sports Star family? Well, if you have a business, reach out to us for sponsorship opportunities. You can advertise with San Antonio Sports Star with all of our talent here. Reach out to Morgan Harrison at morgan.harrison@alphamediausa.com. After that, she will get you in touch with one of our professional sales reps and get you going. Again, reach out to Morgan Harrison at morgan.harrison@alphamediausa.com.
I want to welcome our newest partner of R&R in the Morning and the Sports Star team. You may have heard of them. They're located just off of 281 in Bitters in a big, newly remodeled space. San Antonio's premier card house, SA Card House. That's right. All of our poker-playing listeners tuning in, SA Card House is a must-visit. It offers a beautiful atmosphere, clean, inviting, top-notch customer service for your poker-playing pleasure. SA Card House brings San Antonio a completely new vibe to card houses, offering games for all skill levels, from beginners to professional level poker players. SA Card House welcomes all. If you have not seen them yet, SA Card House is located just off 281 North at Bitters. Has an attached full bar and grill with made-to-order daily specials. This is not your typical card house. SA Card House is a private social club that is accepting new memberships. Visit sacardhouse.com for more info and stop in for a quick drink to check the space out. SA Card House at Bitters and 281.
This is Matt Crowder live at the gas station on 41st Street reporting on those skyrocketing gas prices. Excuse me, miss, are you buying less gas now because of the high prices?
Oh, I never pay full price for gas anymore. I just use the free Upside app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute, are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back every time I buy gas.
Well, does that actually add up to anything?
I've made around $200.
Wow. Well, there you have it. Stop paying full price for gas. Download the free Upside app and get real cash back every time you buy gas. This is Matt Crowder Radio News Network. Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code BUS for an extra 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code BUS for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code BUS.
We all have that friend who wakes up early to go get everyone McDonald's breakfast while the rest of us sleep in. This is your sign to thank them. And if you're that friend, this is us saying thank you.
Having McDonald's breakfast is delicious. Having someone else get you McDonald's breakfast is delicious-er. Right now, get a big breakfast with hotcakes for just $4.99. Only at McDonald's. Prices and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
Don't let pain keep you from doing the things you love. I'm Dr. Jason Garrett from Arasti. At Arasti, we fix pain fast. Whether you've been living with chronic and nagging pain for years, or if you've recently experienced an injury, our goal is to get you out of pain as quickly as possible. Arasti is completely natural and non-invasive. Plus, Arasti accepts most insurance plans. There's a location near you. Visit Arasti.com. That's AIRR. Arasti, we fix pain fast.
Cowboys play here. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Jimenez and Spence on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. We're streaming on YouTube Live right now. 8 days until the start of the NFL draft, and the eyes of Texas are upon Bijan Robinson, the former UT star. Where is he going to land? That is the big question for a lot of sports fans here in San Antonio, a lot of Longhorn fans. ESPN's Todd McShay believes that Bijan Robinson will go as high as number 10 to the Philadelphia Eagles. CBS Sports one-ups them, saying, no, not number 10. Bijan's going number 8 to the Atlanta Falcons. Spence, do you believe that Bijan is going to be a top 10 player?
I think it's a 50-50 shot. I think there's a lot of speculation being thrown around. I think there's a lot of people just talking trash to see what sticks. Is he a top 10 pick player? Yes, I think he is. Whether you really want to make that commitment for a top 10 compared to what's left on the board, that is where the rubber meets the road. If I am the GM of the Eagles and everything remains constant and I have my choice between Bijan and somebody else of great stature, I probably take the other player because I can find a running back of Bijan's capability and not waste my number 10. If I take number 10 based on the fact that I think he is the man, he's our pick at 10, he's on the draft board, blah, 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 and it sticks a fork in the Dallas Cowboys shield, yeah, that makes it even sweeter.
That would be insane because a lot of Cowboy fans are UT Longhorn fans as well. And I know a lot of the Hornets fans have been telling me, they're like, man, any place but the Eagles, any place but the Commanders, because they want to cheer for him, right? It's okay to have your favorite team and then have your team on the side, right? My favorite team is the New Orleans Saints, but my team on the side is the Cincinnati Bengals. right? I will cheer for both, but I have one true love, and that's the Saints. Cowboy fans, they want to have a true love. That's their team. But I'm sure wherever Bijan goes, if they are a UT fan as well, they're going to want to follow his career and see where he goes and see if he's going to be a success story. The thing is that, like you were saying, about it being a 50-50 proposition, him being in the top 10 or not, it's because it depends on whether a team values a running back at all. We're seeing teams right now just get rid of running backs. Derrick Henry, Tennessee Titans are talking about getting rid of him. There are rumors right now that the Minnesota Vikings might actually cut Dalvin Cook leading up to the draft. Tony Pollard, again, signed a franchise tag, only 1 year. You have Josh Jacobs, who led the league in rushing, got a franchise tag. Saquon Barkley has not signed his. Meantime, you take a look at Bijan Robinson. You could get him on the cheap relatively for 5 years, keep him in the fold. I think that there's going to be a team that comes up, and I'm going to put the over-under on him being drafted at 15. I think 10 to 15 sounds about right for Bijan Robinson for what he can do.
I would say probably it's more of a 15 to 20.
Okay.
Just my guess. He's not going to be there at 26. He's going to be gone by then. But I think the 15-20 conversation, maybe 15-22, there's a wide berth there of you can talk yourself into that conversation. All the quality players that are in the top 10 potential. Bijan, I mean, if he's that good at 10, okay, so you can't. So all of a sudden, CBS says the Falcons are going to take him at 9. Okay, well, is someone going to up that and make it whoever's at 8 going to take it at 8? I mean, do I think he's a 5 to 10 pick? I mean, you'd have to really find a way to sell that for me to jump on that hand grenade.
Well, let's look at some of these teams that are at the top of the draft. Carolina Panthers, we know, are going quarterback, whether it be Young or CJ Stroud, right? The Texans, they're not going to go running back. They got Dameon Pierce. They need quarterback. They need other things. If they go out and get a defensive tackle or somebody like that, a Jalen Carter or a Will Anderson, that would make sense. Arizona Cardinals need a running back necessarily at number 3. The Colts aren't going to do it. They have a running back. The Seahawks won't do it. The Lions at 6. Well, the Lions need a running back. They lost Jamal Williams, but the Lions are also sitting there at number 18. I think it'd be more likely if the Lions were to take him that they would use the 18th pick as opposed to the 6th pick.
I can't believe that the Lions, as good as they've turned themselves into, would throw away 6th pick on a running back.
Exactly. They have a lot of needs, and they're an up-and-coming team right now. The Raiders have Josh Jacobs, don't need him. The Falcons at 8. That's the first team on this draft order that has a legitimate need for a running back.
They have holes all over their franchise.
Exactly. So if they want to say, hey, we're going to have a star player, because they need a star. And is Desmond Ridder going to be the face of the franchise for the Atlanta Falcons? It can be Bijan. They can say, this is our savior. This is the jersey that we're going to sell.
All right. A running back is not going to be the savior of a team. I mean,
it's not going to be Desmond Ridder anytime soon.
No, but to argue the fact that a running back coming is going to be the franchise of the team, well, then all your other positions are taken up. You don't need other help anywhere else.
Well, no, but it sells tickets to a bad franchise. So I'm going to go ahead and say that the Falcons would consider it. The Bears at number 9. I think the Bears need some help for Fields. So I don't necessarily think that's from the running game. So I would say no to there. Philadelphia at 10. Okay. They got rid of Miles Sanders for a reason, right? Miles Sanders, nearly 1,300 yards rushing last season, had 11 touchdowns. They got Rashad Penny to replace him, but Penny's not as good as Miles Sanders. Penny's fine. But number 10, it does make sense. It's a splash right there. And to have Bijan behind Jalen Hurts.
You're speaking so from the heart.
So great.
You're speaking so from the heart. And that's the mistake GMs will make when they have it we're going to stick it to the Cowboys. We're going to
the drama.
That is the Jerry reaction if he's at 10.
Oh, okay. But the drama that would be if he played for the Eagles, man, Cowboy fans would lose their minds. The Titans
so
at 11.
So would the Longhorns.
The Titans at 11. If they get rid of Derrick Henry, that would make sense, but they also need a quarterback as well. The Texans at 12, they don't need him. The Jets at 13, they don't need him. The Patriots at 14 could, but Belichick usually does things a different way. Green Bay Packers don't need him. Commanders don't necessarily need him, though some mock drafts suggest that he could go to 16. Steelers, no. Lions at 18. I'm beginning to like the Lions at 18, and I'm beginning to believe in the Chargers at 21 because it sounds as though they don't want to sign Austin Eckler to a long-term deal. Now, the odds of Bijan falling to number 26 magically to the Dallas Cowboys so that the Cowboys have that decision to make, looking less and less like a possibility. But Dak Prescott was on Adam Schefter's podcast talking about Bijan and what he sees in that star UT running back.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, second to Mississippi State, I'm a Texas fan, so I've seen a lot of his game when they've been on Saturdays and able to watch him, and just a super talented guy. Not only is he great running the ball and has the speed, but has the hands and the route running ability. And yeah, I mean, that's all mock drafts. I don't pay attention to all that stuff, but I do know he's a hell of a player.
That is Dak Prescott on the Adam Schefter podcast. Again, talking about his hands. It's also the yak. It's yards after catch. It's also yards after first touch, because that's the thing about Bijan. Just because you touch him, just because you got a hand on him, doesn't mean you're going to drag him down. This is a guy that averaged nearly 7 yards per rush attempt. I'm excited about his future. I really am.
So we heard from Dak, who doesn't say anything except just, predictable. Okay. And he's doing it off a speakerphone. Okay. That's the most annoying thing. Pick up the phone and talk like you would to anybody else. Like you're bored. You're like, and I love Adam. Okay.
Yeah.
But what does that do to me to listen to Dak Prescott say everything that we already know? Yeah, he's a great player. Great player. Yeah. Did I say he's a great player? He's a great player.
You're saying like Dak is like Mad Libs. You just got to insert the words, insert the adjectives, and you know what he's going to say.
It is the worst interview in the history of interviews. Dak, what do you think about the Sun coming up? I think it's great. If we didn't come up, we're not going to be able to live.
All right. A better soundbite is going to be Stephen Jones, one of the execs for the Dallas Cowboys. When he was asked about Bijan Robinson, he kind of chuckled a bit when asked what it would be like for Bijan to run behind that Cowboys offensive line.
So hats off to him and what he's done to put himself in a position, to be drafted where he's probably going to end up being drafted, and being a local young man who's done really well for himself, played ball at the University of Texas here in our state. Hats off to him, and certainly a guy, I'm sure when, that first day is over, he's going to certainly have a team, and you never know.
You never know.
He almost felt like he was going to go, yeah, and I talked to his mother, and his mother was a good athlete back in the day too.
Yes, he's having the Odell Beckham conversation all over again. But one thing I did like about Stephen Jones in the interview he did yesterday was talking about how Bijan is one of the few players that the Dallas Cowboys do see as having first-round talent. There might be 31 picks this year in the first round, but he believes that there's somewhere between 14 and 16 legit first-round talents out there. And he believes Bijan's one of them.
So 14 to 16 are deserved of first round. This is Stephen Jones.
Right. He's basically saying it's consensus. Like, everybody knows that these guys are first rounders. There's no beauties in the eye of the beholder. We all consensus believe these 14 or 16 players are first round talents and that they will be in the first round.
So there's 15 that are going to be drawn in the first round that are at best second round.
Yeah, that half the teams might consider a first rounder, half the teams might consider a second or a third rounder. That's exactly what he's saying.
So if that's the case, I don't believe it, but if that's the case, why wouldn't you trade out at 26?
That's a very good possibility.
Take 26 and give me your second.
Very good possibility. Now, if the Cowboys do draft Bijan Robinson, obviously at that point, they wouldn't need any help with the running game, right? Because if you have Bijan and Pollard, you'd be perfectly fine. But let's say that Bijan gets taken before the Cowboys, or the Cowboys skip him. What happens to the running game? Do they need another running back? Could I interest you in one Ezekiel Elliott. What are the odds of them bringing him back? Because Dak is talking about it.
Where's that ball? I'm going to throw it at you again.
We're going to hear from Dak.
Give me the ball. Hand me the ball.
We're going to
hand me the ball right
Dak.
now. Hand me the ball right now. Hand me the ball. No, not throw it at me. I'm going to throw it at you. If they bring Zeke back, they absolutely should be ashamed of themselves.
Let's hear from the Cowboys on the other side. Jimenez and Spence, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
The NBA suspended Draymond Green for 1 game and should have been 2, in my opinion, for stomping on the chest of Sabonis Monday night. Game 3 is tomorrow night. Eagles QB Jalen Hurts, after signing a big contract, we find out he had ankle surgery earlier this year. And looky at the Texas Rangers. They're first in the AL West by 2 over the Angels.
It's patio season, so get over to the Roo Pub at 281 and Redland Road to enjoy the great South Texas weather. As always, ice-cold beer and specialty drinks, happy hour weekdays from 11 to 6, and the kitchen is open late until 2 a.m. every day. Add the Roo Pub into your lunch rotation. With those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around, you know there is no better place to watch a game, and they always have all the fights. The Roo Pub, next to the Angry Elephant, 281 and Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
I was in a terrible car accident. I suffered a traumatic brain injury and also injured my spine. My daughter-in-law called Jeff Davis. After expenses and attorney fees, I received $86,559. I want everyone in San Antonio to know Jeff was here for me.
I'm Jeff Davis. If you were injured by a car or large truck, call me at my San Antonio office at 444-4444. That's 444-4444. There's only one number to remember, and that's 4.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right, but right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair, Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
Finding great people to hire can be like trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Their powerful matching technology delivers so many qualified candidates. It's like finding a needle in a needle stack. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. For less hay and more needles, head to ZipRecruiter.
And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
This is an important notice to consumers facing $10,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, or other unsecured debt. You may not be required to pay it all back because there are special programs that will significantly reduce the amount you owe if you qualify. Accredited Debt Relief has helped qualify consumers with over $1 billion in debt. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. For this free information, call 800-458-8822. 800-458-8822.
And now a special motorcycle weather report from Progressive.
Well, today you can expect lots of cloud cover with 0% chance of raining on your parade because you'll be riding your motorcycle vroom vroom. That rumbling low-pressure system beneath you should give way to a relaxing commute and the sudden urge to take the scenic route everywhere you go because, dagnabbit, you're having fun out there. That's your forecast. Back to you.
This has been a special motorcycle weather report from Progressive, where every day's a beautiful day to ride with coverage from America's #1 motorcycle insurer. Get a quote today and see what you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
My friend and I are taking a trip to Mexico this year, but neither of us speak Spanish. So we downloaded Babbel and started learning Spanish fast.
Want to start getting conversational in another language? In as little as 3 weeks, Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons were designed by language experts to be the most efficient and effective way to learn a new language.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles, with an auto warranty about to expire, or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost, month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-627-3604. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-627-3604. That's 800-627-3604. What do you have to lose? Call 800-627-3604. Again, 800-627-3604.
All guests appearing on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star appear on the Buyers Barricades guest line. Buyers Barricades provides traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond. Online at buyersbarricades.com. It's showtime. It's Jimenez and Spence on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Jimenez and Spence on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, on the go at ESPNSA.com. Mike Jimenez, Tim Spence with you till 3 o'clock. Spence, the funniest part of the NFL offseason this year for me has been the story that Zeke Elliott narrowed down his search for 3 teams to the Jets. He was like, I'll go to the Bengals. He was naming these teams that he would want to play for, the Bills. And then those teams came back and said, what are you talking about? We have no interest in you.
I don't think they said it that way.
They all but said that.
I don't think they went out blatantly, told them, don't call us, we'll call you.
Mm-hmm.
But it's very obvious that the only people that probably are interested right now, just because of just the affinity, the love, the appreciation, are the Cowboys. But Lord have mercy, you're bringing him back for what? To sign a one-day contract and then go to the Ring of Honor? Okay, great. Okay, one-day contract for whatever. Okay, great. But that makes 0 sense.
He even talked about the Eagles, and the Eagles were like, new phone, new phone, join us.
Now, let's put it in perspective. Somebody's going to get hurt. Someone's going to go down. Training camp, preseason, first part of the season. He needs to stay in shape because someone's going to call him.
Right. Some football insiders think that something's going to happen after the draft, after these players are brought in, and these teams go, okay, we need some depth at running back. We might need some experience at running back. Let's go kick the tires on Dak Prescott on Zeke Elliott. Kick the tires on Zeke Elliott because Zeke is a 3-time Pro Bowler. He's somebody who got into the end zone more than 10 times last year. Provide more, it's from 1 yard out, right? 2 yards out. He's money from 2 yards in. He is.
Yeah. Okay, he got 10 touchdowns from 2 yards out. You and I and my sister could get 10 touchdowns from 2 yards out with an offensive line that opens the gate for him.
Yeah, my fat ass could have gone through at least 6 of those.
Yeah, I mean, to sit there and say, well, he had 10 TDs. Oh, okay. Come back. How many yards did he have? How many breakaways did he have?
Yeah, not much of any.
Yeah. Okay, so stop.
Now, Dak Prescott was asked about this. He was on Adam Schefter's podcast about the idea of bringing Zeke back.
As you said, the markets change and things go up and down, so it doesn't always work out the way we see it, but hopefully that could happen.
Because when he's released, there's a lot of pride involved. You want to go out and test the market. Everybody has different ideas, and then you see what happens, and then maybe there's a way. I don't know. I may be talking out of turn and imagining things, but who knows?
Yeah, who knows? I'm gonna imagine it with you until I see he's on another team. So
yeah, it's hard to think of Zeke as anything but a Dallas Cowboy.
Exactly.
Dak Prescott on Adam Schefter's podcast.
Where's my pen?
Was he just being nice? Was he just being nice? You got to think they're at least friends, right?
They're great friends, okay? And that's all good and well. And Adam's trying to work some angle for his podcast, which is fine, okay? But asking Dak what it would be like if he came back in some form or fashion. It's like, how would it feel if you won the Super Bowl? Well, I'd be really happy. Okay. It's like, where are we trying to go with something as silly as talk of making a serious conversation out of the fact he may come back as a Dallas Cowboy?
Think about this. Zeke Elliott, man, when he first got into the league at age 21, out of Ohio State, was he the 4th overall pick in the draft? He was money. He was such a great player. His rookie season, 1,631 yards rushing, 15 touchdowns. He also received 363 yards. This is a guy that should have been the rookie of the year. Shouldn't have gone to Dak. It should have gone to Zeke. Zeke followed that up with a 983-yard season. Again, played only 10 games in that season. Bounced back, rushed for over 1,400 yards. Then he had 1,300 yards, but this is what happened. His yards per attempt went from 4.7 to 4.5 to 4.0 to 4.2 to 3.8. That is a trend line that is getting lower and lower pretty much every single year. Last year, an all-time low, 3.8 yards per rush attempt. 15 games, only 876 yards rushed. I don't want to say the guy is washed, but he's washed. But he's washed. He's washed. I mean, I don't want to be mean about it. He's 27 years old.
You're not mean. You're being honest. It's over.
It's over for him as RB1. But could he be a decent RB2? Somebody to give you 8 to 10 carries a game.
That's what RB2 does?
Yeah.
There's no 8 to 10 carries, okay? You're sniffing 15 at least.
No, it doesn't have to be like that.
It's all about load management.
It doesn't have to be like that. I mean, you take a look like Chubb and Hunt in Cleveland when they were doing things, or when you look at right now in New Orleans, when they're going to have Williams and Kamara. Kamara will get 18 carries and Williams get 12. That's just what they're going to do. 8 to 10, 8 to 12. It can happen.
I think we're splitting hairs here. The point is, you in a good offense now, you need 2 running backs that you can rely on.
Right.
But bringing Zeke back because you need a second running back? I mean, do you really believe that?
I think that he would go well to complement on a very cheap contract a Derrick Henry. A Derrick Henry who is going to get the 25 carries, and Zeke with 6 to 8.
Forget the Titans.
It's that type of running back you would need to run with.
Would you bring him back to the Cowboys?
I would hope not.
No, I didn't say would you. Hope not. Would you? You're Jerry. Would you bring him back?
No.
You're Steven. Would you bring him back?
No. They will say the nicest things about him. And he did a good job for a handful of years, but has just gone to crap the last few. He needs a change of scenery. He needs a different offense. He needs to be rejuvenated someplace else. We did see video, Spence, on Twitter of Zeke practicing up against Cones. Looked pretty good. He's going to get a home someplace. Some team's going to take him. Now, what are the odds that the Cowboys are that team? I would put it at 40%. I think it's higher than what most people think.
40%?
But it's less than 50. Yeah.
So you're optimistic.
I would not be surprised.
You're optimistic then.
It is just like Jerry to
you're
bring
optimistic
Zeke back.
Then. You're optimistic.
Just like Jerry to bring Zeke back.
40%.
Let's talk more NFL.
Holy cow.
Let's talk more NFL because, believe it or not, there are more than just one team in the NFL in the state of Texas. Lots of love being thrown towards the Houston Texans this offseason. New head coach. Everyone's super excited. Everybody and their mama knows that they need a quarterback. They've got the number 2 pick in the draft. They've got the number 12 pick in the draft. But there are some rumors out there suggesting that maybe, just maybe, the Houston Texans should trade for a quarterback. And we're going to name names on the other side. Jimenez and Spence, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the NFL Draft on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The pick is in. Let's go to the commissioner.
The Dallas Cowboys select.
This is going to be a fun player to watch.
Next Thursday, join 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star for this year's NFL Draft, live from Kansas City. Who do the Cowboys and Texans pick? Does Jerry make a splash? Who goes number 1? And who's the next Mr. Irrelevant? Find out right here on your exclusive home for the Cowboys. 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
San Antonio Professional Boxing is on another level. Mark your calendars. May 5th, Cinco de Mayo for Davies Entertainment. Viva La Brawl at the Techport Arena. San Antonio boxing like you've never seen it before. Buy tickets now at daviesentertainment.com. See you at the Brawl.
It's Michael Jimenez with Jimenez and Spence, weekdays 12 to 3. People ask all the time, how can we become part of the San Antonio Sports Star family? Well, if you have a business, reach out to us for sponsorship opportunities. You can advertise with San Antonio Sports Star with all of our talent here. Reach out to Morgan Harrison at morgan.harrison@alphamediausa.com. After that, she will get you in touch with one of our professional sales reps and get you going. Again, reach out to Morgan Harrison at morgan.harrison@alphamediausa.com.
In this market, you'll find Fisher Investments is different than other money managers.
Different how? Aren't we all just looking for the hottest stocks?
Nope. We use diversified strategies to position our clients' portfolios for their long-term goals.
You don't just provide cookie-cutter portfolios?
No. We tailor our clients' portfolios to their goals and needs.
But you still sell investments that generate high commissions for you, right?
No, we don't sell commission-based products. We're a fiduciary, the highest standard of care for a financial advisor. It means we're obligated to act in our client's best interest.
So when do you make more money? Only when your clients make more money?
Yep, we have one transparent management fee structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Sounds like you really look out for your clients.
We do, because our priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. That might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, even guarantee it. Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit revivemenshealth.com.
Are you ready to party with a purpose? Taste of the Northside is Tuesday, April 25th from the Security Service Event Center. It's the most exclusive Fiesta event hosted by Brighton Center and presented by HEB. It's a Fiesta event for foodies that includes on-site covered parking, entertainment, and unlimited tastings from over 25 premier restaurants. Get your tickets at tasteofthenorthside.org. Proceeds benefit Brighton Center, the largest nonprofit in San Antonio, serving children with disabilities through pediatric therapy and education initiatives.
Your home for the Aggies is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Jimenez and Spence, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. You know, it started with the mock drafts, then the rumors, then Vegas got on board.
You're so Vegas, man.
The Houston Texans not going for a quarterback at number 2. It's all starting to make sense now.
Oh, yeah, it makes
it's making
sense.
perfect
sense. As soon as
sense.
Vegas weighed in, you were just like, off to the races.
It's about it's about connecting the dots.
They have sources.
They do.
Inside Houston.
They do.
That they can call tomorrow.
Dude, casinos know everything.
Oh, yeah.
Casinos
They
and
have
life insurance companies know everything.
The inside track to who's going to be picked at number 2.
Well, the NFL Network,
not a quarterback.
The NFL Network's Ian Rappaport is saying that the San Francisco 49ers have received inquiries from several teams looking into a potential trade for former number 3 pick, Trey Lance from 2 years ago. The conversations have been the result of San Francisco fielding the calls, not making them, with teams aware that Brock Purdy is the future starter of the San Francisco 49ers. Plus, they got Sam Darnold on top of that. So, Connect some dots. Beyond Vegas, beyond the mock drafts. Connect the dots. Purdy, Trey Lance, they play for what team? The 49ers, right? The 49ers, who was their defensive coordinator that became the head coach of the Houston Texans? DeMeco Ryans. So DeMeco Ryans knows exactly who Trey Lance is. This isn't a flyer. It's somebody that he has seen. Trey Lance is somebody who was the starting quarterback when the season started last year. Then he had a season-ending injury, I believe, in week 2. I think it was his ankle. And Jimmy G came in. Jimmy G got hurt. Then Brock Purdy came out, Mr. Irrelevant, and he led the team to the NFC Championship game. So that being said, would you be against the Texans kicking the tires, looking at Trey Lance and thinking, you know what? We'll fork over second-round pick, a third-round pick for Trey Lance, and keeping the number 2 overall pick?
Well, you've connected some dots that I think they jump out at people, and you say, "What about this? What about that?" I don't think it's as simple as that. You just gave up draft capital for a quarterback when you don't have to give up draft capital for a quarterback. Just stick with number 2. So what you're saying then is if they did that trade, they're focused at some other player at 2 versus a quarterback.
Correct.
So then who is it? Is it Jalen Carter?
Jalen Carter, Will Anderson, the edge from Texas Tech, Tyree? One of those guys.
Or is it, excuse me, is it Devin Witherspoon, cornerback from Illinois? Okay. He just gave up all this draft capital for a quarterback. You must be really, really enticed.
Well, no, do not give up the number 2 pick. What I'm saying
you just gave up a second and a third. You are really making the commitment then that
is your guy.
That's my guy.
Right.
And who hasn't played since he blew out his knee?
Blew out his ankle.
Blew out his ankle. So there's really no guarantee. And why would the Niners? Brock Purdy is the heir apparent, but he even says he's not sure when he's going to come back.
That's why they got Sam Darnold, who was top 5 pick in the draft 5 years ago.
This is his 4th team. I mean, come on. Yeah, top 5. How many teams have you been on?
Now, keep in mind, the Niners traded up to get Trey Lance at number 3, so they gave up a lot of draft capital.
They want some back.
And if they get a third rounder back, a second rounder back, at least they stop the bleeding, because why hold on to a player who's not going to sniff the field? That is Brock out. Just like Sark went out for UT saying that Quinn Ewers was the starting quarterback. There's no quarterback controversy. There's no quarterback controversy when it comes to San Francisco.
You're so jacked on finding what about this? And take this star, bring this in from the outfield and put it here and move this around, move that around. And I think you are the quintessential blogger of what's the word I'm trying to think of? You're taking all these different pieces and putting them together, trying to make some rational decision out of them. When it's all said and done, I don't think that there's any chance that they would trade out of number 2 for a quarterback and give up draft capital.
I've been called Mystic Mike for a reason, Spence. And it's the connecting of dots.
I think it's a little bit worse than
that. No, but I don't think it'd be a bad thing, because it sounds more and more like the Houston Texans want Bryce Young. Like, that is their guy. Unfortunately, they won the last game of the season, dropped him from the number 1 overall pick in the draft to number 2, and it sounds like Carolina wants Bryce Young instead. So that would mean, by process of elimination, just thinking about it, that the Texans don't want C.J. Stroud, that the Texans don't want Will Levis, or they don't want Anthony Richardson, or at least they don't want them at number 2. Maybe they'll want them.
So where'd this rumor come from?
Well, the rumor is coming from the fact that San Francisco coming out saying that they're getting phone calls. I am asking myself the question, is one of those phone calls coming from DeMeco Ryans, because DeMeco Ryans was on the San Francisco staff last season? It wouldn't be out of character, out of mind to think that.
You just put your career on a guy that has seen not even a full season, half a season, and has been sitting on the bench for 2 years. I mean, you're laying your reputation. You haven't even played one snap yet, DeMeco Ryans, and you're laying your reputation on a quarterback that hasn't seen the field. basically at all since he was drafted.
You got Case Keenum, baby. You got Case Keenum.
Oh man, I forgot about Case. Oh, yeah, you know what? You're right. Just I remember Case coming to the Denver Broncos, and remember when this whole quarterback thing was moving around, and he was through the Minnesota Miracle, and everything was great, and John Elway comes out and goes, "We got our guy." 2 years later, he's gone. So you're footing everything on Case Keenum. Okay, great.
It's just one of those questions. Is it a short-term rebuild or a long-term rebuild? I can see DeMeco Ryans having a longer leash than most rookie head coaches out there. I can see the Texans looking at him going, we're going to trust the process. And if that means getting a quarterback this year, that means getting the quarterback this year. If it's next year, then it's next year. I just have a hard time believing that the Texans are going to go after a player that they don't 100% believe in just simply because he's a quarterback. There are people who love Will Levis. There are teams that hate him. Remember we were talking about earlier about how the Cowboys, Stephen Jones, was talking about how he believes that there's only about 16 players in the draft that are graded first round. What if the Texans grade the quarterbacks and think to themselves, you know what? Bryce Young's that guy, but we don't see it in the other three.
Okay, so why does everyone say it 1-2 in some combination? See, do you see CJ Stroud in the prelim or the semifinals and national championship?
Yeah, he's a good player.
He's a really good player.
He is comparable to many people. A lot of the analysts out there say that he is basically Dak Prescott. A more mobile Jared Goff is the way he's also been described.
I've never seen mobile Jared Goff because
that's why he'd be more mobile than Jared Goff.
I've never seen that comparison, but anytime you compare to Jared Goff is like, okay, stop now. Don't compare me with him anymore because that's not really a great comparison if I'm coming into the draft. That said, I just don't understand why you would compromise the future for something that for a player that hasn't even seen the field in 2 years, and you're not even giving him the gig in San Francisco already.
Yeah, my impression about all of this is that bad teams make bad decisions, and the bad decisions are often at the top of the draft. And when you see that only about 50% of the quarterbacks that are drafted in the first round amount to anything, to me, that's difficult to give up the number 2 overall pick or the number 3 overall pick. Now, there is a suggestion on CBS Sports when they released their mock draft. They actually believe that the Texans should take CJ Stroud at number 2, but also trade up some of the draft capital, go from 12 to 3, so that they could get a Will Anderson. Basically have fewer players, but get one. A mock draft, by the way, when it comes to it all, had Bijan Robinson going number 8 to the Falcons, but the Texans the Cowboys rather, at 26, have a different name, a name that we haven't seen in a while. Jalen Hyatt, wide receiver from Tennessee. I like Jalen Hyatt. I think Jalen Hyatt is going to be a very good NFL player. Just the vertical speed that he has. This is a guy that is 6 foot. He runs like a racehorse. The guy is great. And he actually was with us on San Antonio Sports Star at Radio Row talking to, I think he talked to Rob and Rudy when we were out there back in February. But again, according to CBS Sports, they believe the Dallas Cowboys might go after Jalen Hyatt, wide receiver out of Tennessee, 6 foot, 176. I like that guy. Hendon Hooker was throwing the ball to him all day long. Dude, so what are we doing for the draft? Do we have that all designed?
You didn't see the
I didn't see the memo. No, I did not see the memo.
Do you ever look at any of my emails?
Usually after you complain. Yes.
That you didn't look at the email.
Exactly.
Right.
Tell me what's going on.
You're going to be live right after the Blitz with our coverage beginning at 5 on Thursday, 6 on Friday, and you're by yourself.
Very, very interesting.
It should be interesting.
Okay.
How are you going to go to the? I mean, you've done this before, right?
What's that?
Live coverage.
Yeah.
Okay. So how are you going to do it then?
Like a badass, like an award-winning badass.
Where in the hell is the award?
The award is still in my living room,
and
it's still boxed up in bubble wrap.
I don't even know. I don't even think you ever picked it up. These pictures that were on Twitter, I think were all made up.
Mm-hmm.
All made. Why? We reserved a space for you, dude. Okay, it's over your other shoulder.
There it is. There it is.
Over shoulder, right there, so I can look at it face to face. But it's still not there because I'm doubting you even had it. But in reality, regarding draft coverage, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, the Blitz will get it going on Thursday. We'll be at Slackers, get everybody fired up for a 5 o'clock broadcast via ESPN live from Kansas City. And then on Friday, we've got another remote with the Blitz boys till I think it's 5 o'clock on that day. And then on Saturday, it starts at 11. So it'll be 3 days of jam-packed must listen.
I love when I can take off my headset and go straight to the bar. Cannot wait. Again, the draft is next Thursday. James Pledger will actually be there live. Will he be on any of our shows? We'll figure that out along the way. Another 2 hours of Jimenez and Spence on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. When we come back, let's talk about how the NBA dropped the hammer on Draymond Green. This is Jimenez and Spence, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This is Jimenez and Spence. Jimenez and Spence. KTFM Floresville. And always at ESPNSA.com. San Antonio's Sports Center.
The Phoenix Suns evened up their playoff series with the LA Clippers last night. Now tied a game apiece. Booker, Durant combined for 63 points. Draymond Green suspended for Game 3 against the Sacramento Kings. The Warriors star stomped on an opponent's chest in Game 2. And tonight, the Astros try to inch closer to 500, taking on the Toronto Blue Jays. First pitch at 7:10.
Mike Jimenez.
The San Antonio Spurs are the world champions.
Tim Spence.
Victory! Cowboys win!
It's showtime. It's Jimenez and Spence on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hour number 2 of Jimenez and Spence on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. On the go, ESPNSA.com. Mike Jimenez, Tim Spence with you till 3 o'clock. Edwin Hafner is producing today's show. Spence, we're 1 hour in. We're now at the apex of our hump day, hump week.
Well, you've got the Texan Nation all fired up. Joshua texts in Jimenez. Joshua Jimenez. So is that a relative?
Could be. I don't know.
Makes more sense for the Texans to go get an edge rusher. Tyree Wilson is gaining steam as the pick for the Texans in Vegas. Of course, Vegas knows everything. Texans might trade out of 2 with the Colts. They can't get Bryce Young. Go Texans.
What do you have against Vegas? Dude, the sports books know everything.
Do I think they're connected? Yeah, I think they're. But you just gave them the hotline to D'Amico Ryan in his office. Hey, D'Amico, if we do this on the spread, what do you think? That's not going to happen.
Dude, come on, man. There's something to be said about what Las Vegas does and doesn't know. They run all sorts of betting odds when it comes to the draft. I've been there before where they'll say, Will Levis over under of being 7. Is he going to be drafted 1 through 6 or 7 and beyond? You can actually have that type of bet going on in Vegas, the props. And the props are coming out saying that CJ Stroud being the number 2 overall pick because it looks more and more like Bryce Young is going to be the number 1 pick to the Carolina Panthers. In fact, Vegas has it as minus 2,000, which means that if you want to bet 100, if you want to win $100 that Bryce Young is going to win or going to be the number 1 overall pick, you need to bet $2,000 to win just $100. That's an overwhelming favorite. That is like a 99% chance that Bryce Young will be the number 1 overall pick.
Well, thanks for explaining it to me. I don't know.
Well, not everybody knows how the odds work in Vegas, but CJ Stroud has gone from being the odds-on favorite to be the number 2 pick to suddenly being 2nd or 3rd in the mix amongst the Vegas odds right now. And there's a reason for that. They're hearing from somebody, and it doesn't have to be from the organization. Maybe they hear it from beat reporters. Maybe they know Schefter. Maybe they know Ian Rappaport. I don't know. They just know the trend lines. I trust Vegas.
All right, we'll see. I mean, I can't dispute anything that you say because I'm not connected, like, in your words, Vegas. But you throw around names like there's something in the water with Schefter and Ian Rappaport and agents and stuff. Do I think they have connections? Yes, but no one from a media standpoint without losing their job immediately, has a connection with Vegas.
Okay, so it is somewhere on the third floor of every single. Somehow Vegas knows. So I don't know how. I don't want to be like it's Watergate or anything like that. I don't think that places are bugged, but somehow, some way they know. And I don't know how they do, but they just do. Now, Vegas sports books are pretty much interconnected. It seems as though they have like several of them, but there's only really a couple of them. There's the Hill and then there's MGM. They basically run the operation when it comes to things. But again, Houston Texans sitting at number 2, sitting at number 12. What are they going to do? We were theorizing whether or not Trey Lance would be a good pick at that spot, just to give up a third-round draft pick, a pick at number 50 or 60 or 70, something like that to go get a quarterback. That would make sense to me because it lowers the expectations of that particular quarterback. Whereas if you pick somebody at number 2, they're automatically supposed to be the savior of the franchise.
Well, they're supposed to be the savior of the franchise, but I mean, to trade out and not get a quarterback, you have to really have some cojones.
Well, you're not trading out. You just decided to move on. You just decide to go ahead and
but you're bringing some other quarterback in.
Right.
That's my point. You don't need a quarterback. You're asking for a quick dismissal. You're not going to see the 5 years of your contract, D'Amico Ryans, if for some reason you don't think a quarterback is the right choice at number 2. If you go a different direction, if you go edge, if you go, linebacker, if you go some other direction, then you better have what is the plan for quarterback position for the Texans? Right now, you don't have a plan unless you draft or you make a trade. To your point of trading for a player that hasn't even seen the field more than a half dozen games over 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a reach, dude. That's a reach.
The updated odds right now, according to FanDuel, again, we were doing DraftKings yesterday. This is FanDuel's site right now.
Spread the wealth. Yeah.
Let's share the love over here. They have CJ Stroud as plus 150 as the number 2 pick. Will Anderson at plus 200, basically 1.5 to 1 odds or 2 to 1 odds. They have Tyree Wilson, the Texas Tech linebacker, the edge at 8 to 1 odds. Will Levis at 8 to 1 odds. Jalen Carter at 20 to 1 odds, and Anthony Richardson also at 20 to 1 odds. So they're basically saying, CJ Stroud, Will Anderson, that's who Vegas thinks it's going to be. But again, the draft is going to be on the 8th. We're going to be having a celebration out there. So
27th and 28th and 29th.
Tell me the location again. Which one?
Thursday's Slackers.
But which Slackers?
I believe it's Thousand Oaks.
Okay. Slackadoches.
Yes.
Very, very nice. Come by. Buy me a drink. Maybe I'll buy you one. You never know. We're going till 3 o'clock here on Jimenez and Spence. The NBA, I'm a little bit surprised. Gonna be honest with you. When Draymond Green got kicked out of the game 2 against the Kings now up in that series 2-0, I felt it was warranted for him to be kicked out of the game. But I had no idea that the NBA would drop the hammer and actually suspend him for game 3. I am shocked about it all. I'm not saying it's wrong, but I did not think this was going to happen, Spence.
Do you think one game was enough?
Yes.
Did I think it was going to happen? No. I'm like you, or else both of us would have brought it up in some capacity. We didn't see it. But now that they've done it, and the backdrop is the history of what he's done in the past, when you sit there and stand on the chairs and agonize and antagonize the fans in Sacramento, you've taken it to a whole new level. I mean, you could justifiably say 1 for the stop, 2 for the actions afterwards. Now, do I understand they're not trying to cripple the Warriors here? Yeah, I get it. But I could have easily gone into the conversation. Okay, yeah, 2 games, probably rightfully so.
Do you know who deserves blame for all of this? Steve Kerr. He allows this to happen. He allows for Draymond Green to do that stomp, which, by the way, I don't want anybody to defend Draymond when it comes to it. Yes, I know Domantas Sabonis was grabbing onto him with 2 hands. I understand he was grabbing onto his ankle. But that whole excuse that Draymond had of, well, I'm not very flexible. He knew where Sabonis was standing. He not only stomped on his chest, he used it as a platform, like a springboard to jump up in the air.
Let me ask you, though. Do you think coaches have any say in what the players do?
Yes, in some cases they do.
In some cases. But in many cases, and you can see and I think that's probably the part of the problem with the Warriors, okay? There are 3 coaches on that court at any one time, and Steve Kerr has nothing to do with it. They're playing the way they want to play because they have deserved in their heads the right to do it the way they want to do it. Why would Draymond Green be as bad as he is with technical after technical after technical?
Steve Kerr allows it. Steve Kerr allows it.
But Steve suspend him? He's never going to suspend him.
No, Steve Kerr.
Bench him? He's not going to be benched.
If Steve Kerr had any stones, he would have done something years ago to Draymond Green. But he doesn't have the stones to do that. He doesn't. And it's weird because we talk about the fact that, Steph has rings, and you talk about the fact that Klay Thompson has rings and Draymond Green. Well, so does Steve Kerr. He was the head coach, right? He was getting the rings alongside of them. He's also somebody who played on Jordan's Bulls back in the 90s and also won rings over there.
I think you're overestimating the power of a head coach.
One thing I will say is Pop never would have allowed it.
Okay, well, there's one coach out of 30.
Pop never would have allowed it.
Okay, I can't dispute that. Do I think coaches should not allow it? Yes, they should do what a coach needs to do. But the coaches in the NBA have little or no power.
I understand what you're saying, Spence, when it comes to the fact that they feel like they can do whatever they want to do, play the way that they want to play, and that Steve Kerr might be along for the ride. Okay, let them play the way that they want to play. And if Draymond Green wants to be a bully, if he wants to be a dirty player, I guess fine. Spurs have had dirty players. Bruce Bowen was one of them, right? And we liked Bruce Bowen when he was here. His numbers on the rafters at the AT&T Center. So you can have a dirty player, but what you can't have is the theatrics immediately afterwards.
You can't.
Antagonizing the crowd. We saw Russell Westbrook the other day go after a fan in Phoenix, for crying out loud. You can't have that. If anything, I question whether or not he got suspended for the stomp or what he did on the way out the door into the tunnel.
You could have that conversation. Yeah. Was it the stomp or was it the actions afterwards? Fair conversation. Fair subject. So you could even take the next step and say, okay, if it was the after, then you're excusing the stomp.
You're okay with the stomp. Yeah.
No, so it probably should be 2. You could almost talk yourself into it should have been 2.
2 or none is basically would have been the appropriate answer.
Yeah, I could not agree more. 1 is like, yeah, let's just give him 1.
Well, Dame Lillard has come out. Portland Trailblazer stars come out in defense of Draymond Green. Shaquille O'Neal also came out in defense of Draymond. You see all these other former players coming out and saying, well, that's a little bit too much. Now, Joe Dumars.
But what do you expect the players to say? To your point, I was going to go with the Dumars. Go ahead.
Yeah, NBA legend Joe Dumars, who's now an exec with the NBA, came out and issued out a statement saying that Green's actions were excessive, over the top, and went as far as to call him a repeat offender.
That has everything to do with it. Everything to do with it. Consider the history. You could have, if there's no history, maybe just a little, every player has a little history, right? But just take your average player.
Right.
And that happens. Okay, they might give him 1, but they're probably going to let it slide. When you have this continual execution of lack of professionalism, both on the court and then basically off after he got tossed, yeah, it should have been 2.
Now, let me ask you this, and this is where I get a little bit confused by all of this. The stomping on the chest. By the way, Domantas Sabonis had x-rays performed. They came back clear, but he's still listed as questionable for game 3 against the Warriors. My question is this. What if Sabonis had fractured a rib? What if he had punctured a lung? Would it have been just a 1-game suspension? Or are we now doling out suspensions based on the severity of the injury?
I think it has something to do with it.
It shouldn't be that way.
Why should it not be that way?
Because it should be, hey, dude, you know what you could have done? You could have ended this guy's career. You could have tossed this guy out of the playoffs for an extended period of time.
Right. That's the one side. Flip the coin over. Look at the other side.
But it didn't happen. No, that's the flip side.
It didn't happen. But if it did happen, why would they ignore it? Is my point. If it did happen, they have to acknowledge it. So if it's one for it not happening, and I think to your point, 75% of it was because of what he did after the stump. Fair?
Yes.
Okay. So what if something happened to Sabonis? I mean, seriously happened to Sabonis. The NBA would be screwed from the bad PR of the fact that these guys, this team is now crippled because you can't control your own players.
I am looking at Draymond Green and that whole phrase, repeat offender.
Has everything to do with it.
Everything to do with it. Draymond Green had the second most technical fouls this past season with 17. The only one that had more was Memphis's Dylan Brooks. Luka Doncic and Trae Young also had 17. So I want to continue this conversation on the other side because I want to ask the question, who is the biggest crybaby, not only in the NBA right now, but all time in NBA history? Believe it or not, it's not Draymond Green. Let's talk about it. Jimenez and Spence, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's R&R in the morning, tomorrow at 6.
Tomorrow on R&R in the morning, we continue our NBA playoff breakdowns.
RJ Ochoa stops by at 8:30 as we look forward to the draft. It won't be any fun till you get there. The party starts at 6.
R&R in the morning, tomorrow at 6 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's time. Time to empty your closets, junk drawers, and garage of all your old, unused tech. It's time to bag those batteries that bit the dust. Time to tell that old calculator its days are numbered. Time to tell your old hard drive a hard truth. It's time to go. It's time to recycle it all at Staples for free. Plus, this weekend, you save 15% on your purchase of $30 at Staples when you recycle that tech junk for Earth Day. Offer valid 4/22 and 4/23. Limit 1 reward per month. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/recycling for details.
Finding great people to hire can be like trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Their powerful matching technology delivers so many qualified candidates. It's like finding a needle in a needle stack. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. For less hay and more needles, head to ZipRecruiter.
And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
We all have that friend who wakes up early to go get everyone McDonald's breakfast, while the rest of us sleep in. This is your sign to thank them. And if you're that friend, this is us saying thank you.
Having McDonald's breakfast is delicious. Having someone else get you McDonald's breakfast is delicious-er. Right now, get a baked breakfast with hotcakes for just $4.99, only at McDonald's. Prices and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
San Antonio professional boxing is on another level. Mark your calendars. May 5th, Cinco de Mayo for Davies Entertainment. Viva La Brawl at the Techport Arena. San Antonio boxing like you've never seen it before. Buy tickets now at daviesentertainment.com. See you at the Brawl.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149. In business, everything your employees do impacts your brand, including what they wear. Cintas has high-performance workplace apparel for almost every job imaginable. From work shirts and pants, to polos and khakis, to Oxfords or T-shirts, these clothes move, breathe, and look great. Your team gets the styles they like, you convey the image you want. And Cintas service includes weekly laundry and delivery. To learn more, visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
If you can't sleep because of annoying knee pain, that's a problem. If you stop running because your feet always hurt, that's a problem. If your elbow, shoulder, and neck pain make it impossible for you to do your job, that is a problem. And it's time to finally do something about it. I'm Dr. Jason Garrett from Arasti. At Arasti, we fix pain fast. No medications, no injections. Arasti treatment is completely natural and non-invasive. Plus, we accept most insurance plans. There's a location near you. Visit Arasti.com. That's AIRROSTI.com. Arasti, we fix pain fast.
Are you suffering from hair loss, bald spots, receding hairlines? There's a new solution for men and women that uses regenerative medicine to stimulate hair follicles and give you thicker, fuller hair with no surgery. This remarkable treatment is now available here from the regenerative specialists at QC Kinetics. That's right, the same protocols that help relieve joint pain can be used to give new life to dormant hair follicles. QC Kinetics medical professionals can use growth factors from your own body, concentrated and applied to your scalp, restoring hair follicles, preventing further loss, and increasing hair growth. Imagine thicker, fuller hair with no expensive surgery and no downtime. So if you're losing your hair due to aging, pattern baldness, or a medical condition, call now to learn more about exciting natural biologic treatments, regenerative medicine that can stimulate those dormant hair follicles. Get your hair growing naturally again. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. 210-571-0318.
Hey, it's Joe Reinagle, and this is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Draymond Green is a no-go for Game 3 between the Warriors and Kings, suspended by the NBA for one game because he stomped on Domantas Sabonis' chest. Then he became an idiot on the way out through the tunnel. Mike Jimenez here with Tim Spence. Let's talk about crybabies in the NBA. Hotheads in the NBA. Draymond Green, if you were to say right now, who's the one player that is the biggest hothead in all of the NBA, you can make the argument that it's Draymond Green. But is he the biggest crybaby in the NBA? Because those could be two different things, right? A hothead and a crybaby.
Here's a couple at least honorable mentions. Ron Artest got 7 games for elbowing Harden, thanks to Frank Valdez. Hunter Hitch, this is one that's top 5 for me. Danny Ainge.
Oh, my
goodness.
goodness.
My vote for biggest crybaby.
That's a blast in the past.
Dude, he is absolutely, maybe even top 3. And then there's, I guess that was it.
So people have reached out to me on Twitter at Mike ESPNSA. A lot of people saying LeBron James. Several people saying LeBron James.
There's no doubt.
Pete Aguilar reaching out saying Chris Paul III. Some even accusing Tim Duncan of being a crybaby back in the day.
Here's 2 for
James
you.
Harden.
What about Dwayne Wade?
Paul Pierce. Dwayne Wade's a good one.
But Paul Pierce. Here's one from the blast from the past. Remember when DeMarco's cousins confronted Elliott?
Yeah.
How do you confront a broadcaster because he's being critical of you on the court? I mean, give me a break.
Now, Draymond Green is the combination. He's the Venn diagram right in the middle of what a hothead and a crybaby is. Because, again, last season, he had 17 technical fouls. That was the second most in the NBA. This is a guy that typically finishes in the top 5 each and every year when it comes to technical fouls. However, for his career, he has 162 technical fouls, 17 ejections. And I did the math. In order for him to break the NBA all-time record for most technical fouls in a career, he would need 170 more. He's not even halfway to the record leader. So let's go over the top 5. The 5th most technical fouls of all time, Dennis Rodman, 212.
He's right up there.
Gary Payton, the 4th most at 250. At number 3, Rasheed Wallace.
Wow.
With 317. Charles Barkley had 329. And the NBA king when it comes to technical fouls, the elbow himself, Karl Malone.
He's in great company. Here's one that I want to know where he lists, if you have the whole list in front of you. If not, that's fine. The one that always just would annoy the bejesus out of me, Dwight Howard.
Wow. He's not high on that list. He's just annoying.
He's just annoying. Just shut up and play the game. I mean, he would get in fights with anybody over anything. The players don't respect him. the fans don't like him.
And now he's out in China pissing off fans over there. Found this to be an interesting stat, though. The record for most technical fouls in one season. Keep in mind, the record or the leader this year had 18. And it's because they suspend you after you get 16, right?
Right.
But they didn't have this rule years ago. The record for one season, Rasheed Wallace with 41 technical fouls. There are 82 games in a season. I'm sure he didn't even play all 82, and he had 41 technical fouls. Now, when it comes to ejections, Draymond Green, 17 ejections. That's the second most of all time behind Rasheed Wallace, who was ejected 29 times. The king of crybabies / hotheads is Rasheed Wallace.
Do you think the 16 is a fair bottom line?
It's a weird number to say 16.
It really is weird.
It's basically 1 in 5 games.
If you this is a CBA question, but if you really want to clean it up and tighten it up, okay, make it an even dozen. Make it 10. Put some pressure on it. You want to really, it's a give and take. The players aren't going to roll over for anything. They're going to get what they want. Okay, great. Here's a negotiating ploy. But it's part of this whole conversation of this is a players' league. End of conversation. No more discussion moving forward. Okay. We want to move the games from 82 to 62. That ain't going to happen because the players are going to lose the money to the extent owners are going to lose some money but the point of, if I'm going to a game, I want to see the players. Well, you took the day off. Okay. Well, what is that? You talked about Spurs player that only played 52 games.
Oh, Jeremy Sohan.
Okay. Why is it 52? Because he got hurt, blah, blah, blah. But I want to see him at 62. I mean, I want to see him at 65. I want to see him at 70. Okay?
Right.
I don't want to see him at 50 or less.
Yeah, Tim Duncan played every game of the season he won his first title.
So when the bottom line comes down to it, it's like, this is a players' league. End of conversation. They do whatever they want to do when they want to do it.
But what I find interesting about this conversation about technical fouls, being a hothead, being a crybaby, and you rattle off these names of Karl Malone, Charles Barkley, Rasheed Wallace, Gary Payton, Dennis Rodman. 1 and 2 is interesting because Karl Malone, Charles Barkley. Karl Malone got technical fouls a lot, not only because of what he said, but with the elbows. I remember he knocked out David Robinson on the court with an elbow to the face or the back of the head. And that is one of the most devastating things that Spurs fans had ever witnessed. And Karl Malone, who, by the way, you can hate him for personal reasons as well. Check out the things he's done in his life. But Karl Malone never won a ring. Charles Barkley never won a ring. And they have the most technical fouls of all time. But they're both in the Hall of Fame. Rasheed Wallace made the All-Star team several times. I believe it was like 4 times. Hothead. Was also somebody who had a long career. Gary Payton, my goodness. I met Gary Payton a while back, years ago. Gary Payton is that one guy who has been described as the player who directs traffic, not only for his team, but for the other team, the concession stands, the cheerleaders, the cameramen, that he was forever talking to everybody. He might actually be the most annoying player of all time because he didn't stop talking.
Well, you kind of teased it, but I think we need to address it regarding Karl Malone. There's nothing that the NBA can do except hide their face when they sit there and put Karl Malone on national television at
The All-Star game. Yep.
When this man, call what you want, Mr. Elbow, Mr. Ejections, Mr. Whatever, Mr. Hall of Famer, but he's still, in many eyes, a rapist.
Oh, no. I mean, that is just, it's not one of those allegedlys. I mean, it is proven fact. Just never served time for it. He had a child with somebody who was 13 years old. Right? That happened in college. Again, it's funny. We talk about like Brandon Miller. We talk about other controversial players that are in college, Jalen Carter, that are going to the pros. If Karl Malone existed in a time of social media, would he ever have been drafted? Knowing what we know now. Karl Malone's garbage, complete trash. But again, Just to recap, Draymond Green out for game 3. Warriors, Kings. Kings up 2-0. It goes to the Bay Area next. 93% of the time. 93% of the time. The team that goes up 2-0 wins the series. But again, this is the world champs. The defending champs, Clay, Steph, but no Draymond Green. We're going to be back. We're going to talk a little bit more about the Cowboys. Stephen Jones answers a question as to whether the team is going to draft by need or by best player available. This is Jimenez and Spence on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
The NBA, they suspended Draymond Green, and rightfully so, 1 game, but should have been 2, I think so, for stomping on the chest of Sabonis Monday night, game 3 tomorrow night. Looky, the Texas Rangers. They're first in the AL West by 2 over the Angels. You can hear them right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Sports Center is brought to you by Kielbasa Slow Crafted Sausage, available at your local grocery stores.
Gold and other precious metals stand the test of time and can help you diversify your portfolio. Jason Minix here for Noble Gold Investments. Physical assets like gold and silver have weathered countless financial storms. You have seen what has happened to some banks recently. Gold is the most stable asset outside of any government control. At Noble Gold Investments, they help protect your financial future by offering a secure and convenient way to invest in physical precious metals, rare coins, or a gold and silver IRA. Gold, silver, and other precious metals will always protect against market fluctuations. At noblegoldinvestments.com, learn how investing in precious metals help guard against inflation, hedge against the dollar, and so much more. Go to noblegoldinvestments.com. Use promo code STAR to get a free 5-ounce America the Beautiful coin with each gold or silver IRA if you qualify. noblegoldinvestments.com. That's noblegoldinvestments.com.
I'm Howard Mackler, founder of Innovation Refunds. You've heard me talking about the payroll tax refund for months. If you own a business, even if you've asked your CPA about this, you owe it to yourself to take another look. We provide a licensed and insured tax attorney who evaluates your company at my expense to determine eligibility. Businesses of all types can qualify, so go to getrefunds.com to potentially get a payroll tax refund of up to $26,000 per employee. Download the Innovation Refunds app or go to getrefunds.com, getrefunds.com.
Countryside Killers, say your prayers. Sister Boniface is back on the case.
What is it, sister? I think we have a motive for murder.
The Cotswolds' brilliant Detective Nunn returns in BritBox's much-loved spin-off of Father Brown.
So he was... electrocuted, yes. How shocking. Oh.
Season 2 of Sister Boniface Mysteries is now streaming exclusively on BritBox.
Most intriguing.
Undeniably British. Undeniably brilliant.
The following is a message from the future, sent by Jamie from Progressive.
Back in 2023, you could get help from Progressive online, through our mobile app, or over the phone. But here, in the future, you'll be able to chat with us from space. Maybe you're asking, why are you spending time on insurance in space? Shouldn't you be sculpting something out of moon rocks or jumping around with no gravity? Insurance seems more like a back on Earth kind of thing, right? Actually, in the future, space is no big deal. Errands are totally appropriate.
That was a message from the future. Get the help you need today with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers.
Guys, fellas, men, do you want a better sex life? Roman has genuine medication that helps you achieve and maintain a strong erection. Roman has discreet wipes that help you last 4 times longer in bed. Roman has testosterone testing and treatment. Treating low testosterone can help revive your sex drive. So men, what are you waiting for? For a better sex life, go to ro.co/bettersex. Do it today and get 20% off. That's ro.co/bettersex.
And now a special motorcycle weather report from Progressive.
Well, today you can expect lots of cloud cover with 0% chance of raining on your parade because you'll be riding your motorcycle vroom vroom. That rumbling low-pressure system beneath you should give way to a relaxing commute and the sudden urge to take the scenic route everywhere you go because, dagnabbit, you're having fun out there. That's your forecast. Back to you.
This has been a special motorcycle weather report from Progressive, where every day's a beautiful day to ride with coverage from America's #1 motorcycle insurer. Get a quote today and see what you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates.
My friend and I are taking a trip to Mexico this year, but neither of us speak Spanish. So we downloaded Babbel and started learning Spanish fast.
Want to start getting conversational in another language in as little as 3 weeks? Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons were designed by language experts to be the most efficient and effective way to learn a new language.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles, with an auto warranty about to expire, or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost, month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-627-3604. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-627-3604. That's 800-627-3604. What do you have to lose? Call 800-627-3604. Again, 800-627-3604.
All guests appearing on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star appear on the Buyers Barricades guest line. Buyers Barricades provides traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond. Online at buyersbarricades.com. It's showtime. It's a Menace and Spence on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Jimenez and Spence on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. We're streaming live on YouTube right now. Subscribe to San Antonio Sports Star. The Kielbasa Smoke Meats phone line, 656-ESPN, 656-3776. Having a good show today, Spence. I don't know if it's award-winning,
Well,
but
thank you.
But it's a pretty good show.
Not as good as the award-winning halftime.
We're getting there.
Last year,
we're getting
there. They got
there.
you the award that we still haven't seen, let alone put up on the wall. Because I right now question if there's even an award. You keep saying you're going to bring it
tomorrow.
I forgot it. You said that yesterday. I forgot.
You guys are going to use it as a doorstop. That's what's going to end up happening. I'm fearful of it. I'm protective. I'm protective of the award.
If it ends up in a doorstop, it had nothing to do with me. But I will absolutely applaud the decision by someone to put that in play.
But again, fine show that we're having today. So far, I've been using the stress ball, by the way. You threw this at me earlier in the show, and I like it.
Yeah. Why did I throw it at you?
Probably because you didn't like one of my takes.
Yes, because it's let's throw some cow dung up on the wall and see if it slides down or if it sticks a little bit this time.
Sometimes that slot machine hits, baby. Sometimes it does.
It just slides down until it hits the ground, and then it's still there because we still got to smell it, but it's not going to stick.
Sometimes you win awards for it.
The unfortunate thing is when those cow dung throws do stick and it finds a way to be happening, we hear about it from you for the next 6 months.
Those are called.
Get right back in 2023.
Those are called victory laps, my man.
That is definitely a victory lap. That it seems like the course is like the Indy 500. If it's on and on and on and on, it never ends.
I'm not afraid of a victory lap, but let's talk about the Dallas Cowboys because again, the NFL draft 8 days away. You can meet us over at Slackadocious, the Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar on Thousand Oaks. That's going to be the one that we're going to be partying at for the first day of the draft, which is next Thursday. Cowboys picking at number 26. That question that we've been debating over the past few weeks, best player available or draft by need. Now, Stephen Jones met with reporters and was talking about the fact that he's happy with what the Cowboys have done in the offseason, getting Stephon Gilmore, getting Brandon Cooks. But listen to this, Spence. We're going to hear from Stephen Jones when he comes to saying that best player available sounds like a plan because they've done it before.
Absolutely. I just think if there's a player up there, I go back to previous drafts, a guy like a perfect example is a guy like CD Lamb. It wasn't necessarily on anyone's radar that we would take a receiver with the first pick. But when a guy like him falls down and we got that type of grade on him, you want to be able to take advantage of that. So we just feel like we're in that situation. We feel, certainly there's positions on the team, that you want to, beef up, but you don't necessarily have to do it with the first pick or the second pick, or the third pick. As far as that goes, there's, we feel like we're going to be able to take care of situations, and that will ultimately get done throughout the draft.
CeeDee Lamb wasn't on anyone's radar. Give me a break. He was on everyone's draft board,
but he kept sliding down the draft. That was the thing. They didn't think he'd be available when it was time for the Cowboys.
That's
to make
not what he
pick.
said, though. It wasn't on many of the people's draft boards. I mean, come on. He was on everyone's draft board. Yes, there's on Thursday the 27th, someone's going to slide. Are you in the right place at the right time? Can you move up? Can you make that's the beauty of the draft. Someone's always going to slide. Now, hopefully it's not the Aaron Rodgers of the world going down to late first, or who is the Notre Dame quarterback?
Brady Quinn.
Brady Quinn. I mean, your heart had to go out to Brady Quinn. Okay. I mean, first off, we're talking Brady Quinn. No wonder he slid. Okay. But the mere fact that he was in all of these slide downs, it's just, one after another team passing on him. It's really sad.
Now, best player available means irrespective of position. Okay. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say that means we're going to exclude quarterback, right? Because they're happy with Dak. They're not going to get Will Levis at 26 just simply because he's there and he's, maybe high on their board, right? But Stephen Jones has come out and said, yeah, there's about 14, 15, 16 graded first-round draft picks that are out there that are consensus first-round draft picks. But when it comes to having the best player available, he mentioned CeeDee Lamb, he mentioned Micah Parsons. They've done this before. I like the way he breaks it down.
But no, we would never just rule out a position in terms of getting a great player. If we had a high first-round grade and he falls down to 26, certainly big time in play, if not a slam dunk that would happen. Usually when you're picking 26, I think typically we have, anywhere, around 15 to 16 players in our first round. Some years, a few more. We'll see where we end up here. We're not finished yet, but, a guy with a first round grade down there at 26 is going to be blinking at us.
Cowboy fans, Stephen Jones, I like what he just said right there. That is how you put together a good team. You put together a good team by getting the best players, irrespective of position, maybe outside of quarterback, best player available, because then you just build around the talent. Why not just do that?
Okay, I can't dispute that because I understand the rationale behind it. But we talked about this earlier. Why don't you just then trade back versus some guy that is the best player at 26? Do you need, this is a great question. Do you need a wide receiver if he hits at 26 because he's the best player on the board? Or does their eyes, they don't need a wide receiver, but we'll take an extra 1 or 2 picks because we're trading out of the 26 for whatever we get in return?
I have no problem with that, especially if they grade it a certain way. If they have certain players graded as, hey, we think that this guy is first round material, and they have like 3 or 4 of them still there, they can go back 5 or 6 or 7 spots and prognosticate and go, I don't think these teams behind us are going to take the guys that we want. Let's slide back down. Let's add a second rounder. Let's add a third rounder in the future.
Well, what you're saying then in indirectly is we're not drafting the best player on the board at that time because we don't need necessarily that player currently.
And why don't they need that player? It's because the Cowboys have done a fantastic job this offseason beyond Cooks, beyond Gilmore, what they've done by shoring up the offensive line, re-signing Leighton Vander Esch, Donovan Wilson. All the things that the Cowboys have done have put themselves in the position to be choosy when it comes to the draft, as opposed to just sitting there going, oh, we need an offensive lineman. Oh, we need a safety. We need a whatever. The Cowboys can look at the whole board and go, let's just get ballers. Just get the good players and then figure it out.
Well, but you talk on both sides of the street here. Get ballers. Okay, so take the best player available at 26.
Yes. No, but what I'm saying is that if they are happy with 5 or 6 other people that are still on their board, they can slide down and still get one of the guys that they really like, that they're really high on.
And that's the beauty of being at the end of the draft. You have options.
You do. We're going to hear more from Stephen Jones in the 2:00 hour. He's going to be talking about the whole tight end situation because, again, it seems like a lot of mock drafts, wouldn't you say about 75% of them have the Cowboys going after a tight end? We're going to hear from Stephen Jones in the 2:00 hour talking about the tight end position. But when we come back, we're going to get into some pop culture here. You know, I'm big into 90s rock. As big as you are in 70s rock, that is me when it comes to 90s rock. And I know you like a lot of it.
Where's that ball? Why do you choreograph me as 70s and 80s?
Well, because you like Rush so much. And Rush is a 70s and 80s band.
So everything else falls into that same genre of song.
I will say this, Spence. I do respect the fact that you like a lot of music going up to all the way up to Linkin Park. I know that you've talked to me about in the past about bands like STP, Nirvana, Pearl Jam. I know that you are a musical guy when it comes to rock. I love that about you. But what I'm super excited about is the fact that one of my favorite bands growing up is going to have a new album coming out, despite the fact that the singer died 6 years ago, an album from beyond the grave, if you will. I'm looking forward to it. We'll talk about it. Jimenez and Spence, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the NFL Draft on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The pick is in. Let's go to the commissioner. Dallas Cowboys select. This is going to be a fun player to watch.
Next Thursday, join 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star for this year's NFL Draft, live from Kansas City. Who do the Cowboys and Texans pick? Does Jerry make a splash? Who goes number 1? And who's the next Mr. Irrelevant? Find out right here on your exclusive home for the Cowboys. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
San Antonio is charging ahead, bucking the competition, grabbing opportunity by the horns, and watch us be relentless. This is your team. Experience more football. Experience XFL. Your San Antonio Brahmas close out the regular season against the DC Defenders at the Alamo Dome, Saturday, April 22nd at 2 p.m. Tickets on sale now. Visit xfl.com/tickets.
San Antonio Sports Star is proud partners of the Davies Entertainment Viva La Brawl, coming to the Techport Arena May 5th. And here is your chance to win your way into the action. Join the Blitz live this Friday at Slackers Thousand Oaks from 3 to 7. Meet and greet with the headliners, the Castaneda brothers, Kendo and Jairo Castaneda, and your chance at free tickets to the upcoming Viva La Brawl on Cinco de Mayo. That's this Friday at Slackers Thousand Oaks, or buy your tickets before they sell out at daviesentertainment.com.
Imagine it's the last ride, but your symptoms of irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C, are taking you for a ride. What should you do? Keep managing your constipation with belly pain the same old way? Or try getting ahead of your symptoms by talking to your doctor about treating it with Linzess, linaclotide. Linzess is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a daily pill that helps you get ahead. You have more and complete abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually.
Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling.
Imagine, what could relief from IBS-C mean for you? Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
This is Matt Crowder, live at the gas station on 41st Street, reporting on those skyrocketing gas prices. Excuse me, miss, are you buying less gas now because of the high prices?
Oh, I never pay full price for gas anymore. I just use the free Upside app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute, are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back every time I buy gas. gas.
Well, does that actually add up to anything?
I've made around $200.
Wow. Well, there you have it. Stop paying full price for gas. Download the free Upside app and get real cash back every time you buy gas. This is Matt Crowder Radio News Network. Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code BUS for an extra 25 cents per gallon cash back on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code BUS for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code BUS.
I was in a terrible accident with a commercial vehicle. I had to have surgery on my back. My life was turned upside down and I was completely screwed. Then I called the Force, the Davis law firm. Jeff personally handled my case. After expenses and attorney fees, I received $397,988. It's really true. Jeff was here for me.
I'm Jeff Davis. If you were injured by a car or large truck, call me at my San Antonio office at 444-4444. That's 444-4444. There's only one number to remember, and that's 4.
San Antonio Professional Boxing is on another level. SA Sports Star is proud to announce our partnership with Davies Entertainment for Viva La Brawl. Mark your calendars, May 5th, Cinco de Mayo at the Techport Arena to see San Antonio's very own Castaneda brothers, Kendo and Jairo Castaneda, headline a card that features Brown Tavares versus Daniel Heinen, Destiny Jones versus Brittany Ordonez, and more. San Antonio boxing like you've never seen. Davies Entertainment, Viva La Brawl coming Cinco de Mayo at the Boeing Techport Arena. Buy tickets now at daviesentertainment.com.
You're listening to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
One of my favorite songs of the 90s, Spoon Man by Soundgarden, off the Super Unknown album. Chris Cornell died 6 years ago. I have said for years, Spence, that Chris Cornell is the best rock voice since Freddie Mercury. Just vocals in general. Loved Soundgarden. And now there's going to be a new Soundgarden album coming out featuring Chris Cornell with vocals that he recorded before his death.
Okay, so bring everybody behind the curtain.
Behind the curtain, there was a lawsuit going on between his widow and the band over royalties, and also whether or not these vocals that he recorded were for a Soundgarden album or if it was for a solo album. So who's the artistry? Who does it belong to? And apparently that there was an agreement reached, and on Monday of this week, both sides announced the fact that they've reached an agreement that Soundgarden, the band itself, will be able to get those master recordings and build an album around them, record an album, produce an album around Chris Cornell's vocals.
Let's talk about Chris Cornell for a second. You think he's, a Freddie Mercury type?
Well, I'm not going to say that the band Soundgarden is at the same tier level as Queen. I'm talking about vocals.
Oh, Freddie Mercury.
Freddie Mercury, Steve Perry. There's certain singers out there that are just a 10 as a vocalist.
Well, the two we're talking about besides Steve Perry is, guys that have passed.
Mm-hmm.
Who else is on that list? Because I got a couple.
Well, I mean, I'm 46 years old. I remember being in high school when Kurt Cobain died.
Okay, there's one.
I remember.
What about Michael Hutchence?
Michael Hutchence of INXS. Big fan of INXS.
A massive fan of INXS.
Yeah, Kick, Ek, Shabbat, all of it was great.
There's not one song, one album, and the fact that he had to get his jollies by, what do they call it when they're in the
autoerotic asphyxiation.
Yeah, and it went south on him. It's like it just the career, the life, the legend is just any fan of, in my opinion, any fan of INXS just took one right to the heart.
Other singers, Scott Weiland from Stone Temple Pilots, when he passed away, Chester Bennington of Linkin Park, who also was the frontman for STP when Weiland was having his drug issues. It's so sad because understand that the artistry that they do, the lyrics that they provide, that they make, the feelings that they have are oftentimes because of past trauma, oftentimes because of drug abuse, alcohol abuse, and the life that they live. They live the lifestyle of, we don't get up till 9 or 10 p.m. We hit the stage at midnight. We start drinking. We don't go to bed till the next day. And it's just a different world that they're in. And what you've seen over the years is that all of these 90s stars, these 90s rock stars have just all died, just one by one by one. And right now, I mean, don't get me wrong.
It's not just 90s though, dude.
Well, I know, but
You're focused on it, but it's not just 90s. I mean, Bon Scott, acute alcohol poisoning.
Mhm.
John Bonham,
Well, John Bonham drank himself to death.
right? Alcohol poisoning.
Right.
So it's the whole thing is a legendary. I mean, you can go back to, you can go back into the 60s and talk about rock stars that have died based on their idiocy of either drugs, alcohol, or a combination of both.
Yeah. And it's sad that it happens typically around age 27, 28. I know Jim Morrison was also
Yeah,
one of the ones that
yeah.
passed away that way.
Yeah.
But it's also not only male singers, but you've had female singers
Yeah,
who have died young.
It's definitely not limited to male, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's all about the alcohol. But Lane Staley, Alice in Chains, passed away, I believe, at age of 34, and the guy from Blind Melon also died. Look at a band like Sublime. Best known for the song Santeria, right? Sublime got popular after the death of their singer, so the singer never knew fame.
It just makes it even more sad.
Yeah, so it's so weird when you start looking at whether it be 70s rock or 90s rock. I don't like talking about 80s rock too much because to me, there's two strong eras of rock to me. And I know that there's 50s rock, if you go on with Buddy Holly and Elvis and all that stuff, that's fine. But when I'm talking about like hard rock, to me, that's the 70s and 90s, and to some extent the early part of the 2000s. And they mirror each other. The people who followed 90s rock grew up on 70s rock in a way because their dads introduced them to 70s rock. But you go back and you take a look at all of these people who have passed away. Taylor Hawkins of Foo Fighters passed away at the age of 50 earlier last year.
That probably, in my eyes, ranks up with the Hutchins accidental suicide.
Mhm.
Is the fact that, what are you thinking, dude? What are you thinking?
And he was doing charity work that day.
What
for crying out loud
are you thinking?
It's not like he was in a bad space where he was spiraling. He was doing charity work.
Left the family, the whole deal.
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
My goodness, man. This is a fantastic conversation to have because it just takes us down memory lane when it comes to music. They always say that music is the soundtrack of your life. And to go back and know that I can never go to an STP concert again. I saw STP in concert 5 times. One of the best concerts I've ever seen, one of the worst concerts I've ever seen, because it all depended on whether Scott Weiland was on his game or not. And I oftentimes have struggle whenever I see bands try to perform with other singers. I know like Rome sings with Sublime, so they go by Sublime with Rome, right? I know STP has a new singer right now. I have a hard time going with that. But put Eddie Vedder in bubble wrap, Billy Corgan from Smashing Pumpkins, get them in bubble wrap because there's not a lot of the 90s to go. But Spence, do you plan on any concerts this summer? Because I'm trying to figure it out right now. I'm trying to figure out which concert I want to go to this year because I know the ones I want to go to, but A, can I afford it? B, do I want to travel for it? My wife and I are thinking about going to Vegas and already looking at the residencies out there to go check it out.
The best residency, well, at least for my wife, was we went to Vegas and we went there for kind of a guys' weekend, brought the wives and stuff. And she wanted to walk the strip. I said, well, be careful. But, yeah, go have a good time. And she walked the strip and 2 hours later came back with Celine Dion tickets.
Nice.
That cost $250 a holler. And, I don't know about you, but $250 is like $1,200 to me. Okay.
Mhm.
So it was like, kind of a stunner, but, from a residency standpoint in Vegas, I mean, they got concerts coming out of their ears.
They do. I remember years ago having concert tickets to go see Tony Braxton perform at the Flamingo. And I'm a big Tony Braxton fan from the early 90s. And
You're a fan of her because she's a beautiful woman.
Oh, she is. And she broke up the Dallas Mavericks in the mid-90s.
I mean, come on.
Jason Kidd, Jamal Mashburn,
Come
they
on.
all wanted her.
Come on.
But I'm a big fan of hers, and it's fascinating because I had tickets, and the day of the concert, I got into a poker tournament, and I lasted 10 hours into the tournament. I was down to the final table, and it was a pretty high-end tournament at Caesar's Palace. I ended up missing the concert so that I could play the final table.
And what place did
I
you
finished
come in?
fourth.
Out of the money.
I finished fourth. No, I was in the money.
How deep they pay?
I paid $70 to get in. I cashed out like $2,000, which was more than enough to pay for the $100 I spent on the tickets. But I'm looking at the residencies right now. Bruno Mars is in residency this year in Vegas. Katy Perry from February to August.
Well, you know who's the great traveler in the NFL offseason for concerts, right?
What's that?
Minix.
Yes, he is.
He is everywhere.
Other residencies. Barry Manilow has a residency over at Westgate this year. Luke Bryan, the country star, is going to be over at Resorts World. This is a great list. Keith Urban, Maroon 5, Wayne Newton still alive, Rod Stewart, May and in November over at Caesar's Palace, Sting. I've seen Sting perform before. Miranda Lambert is at Planet Hollywood for a residency this year.
Next time you look at Wayne Newton, let me ask you this. Does his face actually move when he talks?
No. Usher is at MGM having a residency, and Carrie Underwood is also there. Carrie Underwood, by the way, when she was younger, carried my daughter for about half an hour. My daughter, Gabby, who goes to school at LSU. Now, the hour of Jimenez and Spence on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. We're talking more 90s rock. We got some calls on the Kielbasa Smoke Meats phone line, 656 ESPN. We'll be back.
This is San Antonio Sports Star, KTFM Floresville, and always at ESPNSA.com. San Antonio's Sports Center.
The NBA suspended Draymond Green for one game for stomping on the chest of Domantas Sabonis. Green will miss Game 3 of the Warriors-Kings playoff series. Sabonis is listed as questionable. Jalen Hurts had ankle surgery earlier this year, but it's going to be fine. He signed that big deal earlier this week, and the Rangers, all they do is win, win, win. Beat the Royals last night 12-2. Early game today in KC.
Mike Jimenez.
The San Antonio Spurs are the world champions.
Tim Spence.
Victory! Cowboys win!
It's showtime. It's Jimenez and Spence on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hour number 3 of Jimenez and Spence on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star on the go at ESPNSA.com. We are streaming live on YouTube. Subscribe to San Antonio Sports Star. Also, follow us on Twitter, if you will, please. I'm at Mike ESPNSA. Spence is at Spence ESPNSA. Follow the station as well on Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter. And if you miss any part of the show or want to listen to all the old shows or R&R in the morning, The Blitz, Saturday Morning Hangover, go to ESPNSA.com. Check out the Audio Vault powered by AA Best Bail Bonds. All of our shows on a podcast format. Now, in the last segment, Spence, we were talking about music and residencies in Las Vegas. No one to this day believes that my daughter was held by Carrie Underwood for about 25, 30 minutes. We have no visual evidence that this happened, but it did happen.
Okay. So I'm supposed to take your word for it?
Yeah. I mean, we have an autograph from her. That's all we have.
Okay. Proof is in the pudding. You have pictures of everything, videos of everything. I don't even know how your phone can hold everything that you have visually because you have copies of everything, but you just don't have a copy of your daughter being held.
Yeah. So Carrie Underwood won American Idol back in 2005.
And you were right there.
And she is the voice of Sunday Night Football. You know, her legs, amazing. Okay. Carrie Underwood, great voice. You know, all of her songs.
I love how you came back with, and she got a great voice too.
Yeah, she's got a voice, but man, no, but back then, you know, she was 20 years old. She was the winner of American Idol. And I look at American Idol. I was a big fan growing up of that show. I say growing up. I was a young adult when it came on. But Carrie Underwood's 40 years old. So if she won this back in 2005, she was 22 years old when she won. So what ended up happening was we were invited backstage to an American Idol performance because my daughter's aunt was dating the choreographer of American Idol. They came to San Antonio for their victory tour for those who made the final 9, like the 9 finalists. And we didn't know that we were going to be invited backstage. So we go backstage and we met several of the singers that performed, and it was no big deal. And my daughter was 2 years old at the time. And Carrie Underwood, who is the winner, the big star, comes by, sees my daughter who's 2 years old, picks her up and goes, "Oh, you're so cute." And is holding her, carrying her, and then says, "I have to go do a meet and greet. I'll be right back." And she took my daughter to the meet and greet and is there signing autographs, meeting other fans while holding my daughter, Gabby. She brings Gabby back. It had to have been 25, 30 minutes. We were there with her the entire time. It's not like she left the room or anything, but it was so interesting. And all we got was a signed autograph on a backstage pass, which was given to Gabby's grandmother. And 2005, there were no cell phones that had cameras on there.
You didn't bring a camera?
I didn't bring a camera to the concert, and we have no visual evidence that this actually happened.
No camera.
But we have all the family that
What
was
do you have
there.
in your pocket right now? You have a camera, don't you?
I do.
Yes,
We live in a different world, my man.
Right.
We live in a different world. Last segment, we were talking about 90s rock. Soundgarden's going to be coming out with a new album featuring Chris Cornell's vocals because the wife of Chris Cornell, the widow, along with the band, have come to terms, and they're going to announce a new album featuring Cornell's vocals 6 years after his death. Kielbasa Smoke Beats phone line 656 ESPN 656-3776. We're talking music, concerts. We'll be talking NFL in a minute, but we have Manny on line 1 wanting to talk about concerts. What's going on, Manny?
Hey, what's going on, guys? First of all, I just want to say good job, man. You guys do such an amazing job here in San Antonio with the whole radio ESPN thing. I certainly enjoy listening to you guys, man. So keep up the good work.
Thanks, man.
So, yeah, no problem, man. So I'm from Chicago, Illinois. I grew up in the northern suburbs of Highland Park, the North Shore of Illinois. And I used to work at Target at the 1 Hour Photo. And I didn't know Billy Corgan, the head singer from the Smashing Pumpkins. He's a resident of Ravinia, right there in another little suburb there in Illinois. And he used to come and develop his film daily, like every other day. And he would come to me. We would talk sports. We would talk Bears, Bulls, and man, just how genuine and how cool and how fresh this guy was. And I had no idea who he was until I had a coworker come and tell me, like, "Hey, that guy, that's Billy Corgan." And at the time, I really wasn't listening to that type of music. It was, it was more kind of a hip hop and stuff like that. But I looked him up, and wow, man, like, what a cool guy, and just what an artist. A fresh artist that could just get down on the guitar and the piano and just really, really down to earth guys. So I agree with you, Jimenez, of how we got to bubble wrap these rock groups because, man, they're coming and going, and it's a shame. Everything's pretty much IT now, and we don't have that genuine classic kind of acoustic vibes anymore, and it's a shame. And the same, man, the Smashing Pumpkins, one of a kind group, and Billy Corgan, man, what a guy. And he also has a tea shop there in Ravinia that's really chilled as well.
Manny, thank you for calling in. By the way, speaking of Billy Corgan, he does have a San Antonio connection as well. Billy Corgan was one of the first, along with Smashing Pumpkins, first bands to play over at Techport over on the west side, and they gave it rave reviews on social media. And after that, bands started lining up, bands like Incubus and things like that would want to come up and perform here in San Antonio. So thank you to Billy Corgan for advocating Techport here in San Antonio.
Do you know who their keyboardist was? Jonathan Melvoin?
He passed away. I know Sarah McLachlan wrote a song about him.
Yeah, heroin overdose in '96.
Yeah, Arms of an Angel, I believe, is
every group that anyone can appreciate and love has had some sort of disaster hit it in some form or fashion. It could be as serious as losing their life based on some drug, alcohol overdose. It could be just the fact that the the members of the group hate each other. They just break up. I mean, that in itself is catastrophic for some people. I can't watch Journey. There's 80s rock right there. Without Steve Perry.
That's tragic, by the way, because Steve Perry still has a voice. I was telling my wife the other day about the story of Fleetwood Mac.
That's a great story.
Because I heard the song, and I hadn't heard it in a while, Silver Spring, which Stevie Nicks sings. And Silver Spring is a great song. They were nominated for a Grammy on that song back in the 90s, and it was about the relationship of Stevie Nicks with Lindsey Buckingham. But it was beyond that, because McVie and Fleetwood also had a thing going on, or they were married, and then they all started dating each other. And man, the 70s were a wild, wild time. But again, love talking music with you, Spence, because, like Rudy J says, some of the music I get along with you, but some of it, just grab a fork and stick it in my neck.
Oh, he lumped everything into a classic rock. I mean, we were driving down, we're having a good ride in the van in Phoenix, and I was driving, and we just absolutely put on some. It wasn't hard classic rock, but your mainstream classic rock, and he just piped in classic rock, man. We got to get out of this because it's putting a fork in my neck.
Manny, who called in a little while ago, was talking about Billy Corgan, and I was thinking about the fact that, like, you've been in radio for a good while, right? So you've made a career in radio. You have probably met several musicians along the way.
Yes, I have.
Who are the 2 or 3 that you can think of off the top of your head, if any come to mind, that you think, wow, these guys were nice? Like, these were great people to hang out with.
Real quick story on Fleetwood Mac. So I'm in Tampa. We're going to a top 40 station, and they come in for one of those. If those that follow the rock music, there you have Rock Line. It was a Sunday night show, and they did it live from my station studio. One of our operations managers did it, and big name in music. And so this is in the 80s now. Okay. And if you remember Stevie Nicks in the 80s, MTV,
smoke show.
Oh, it's the hormones are bouncing off the TV into your room, into your walls. I mean, it's just hormone after hormone after hormone going through just absolutely terrific transitions. Fill in the blank where you want to fill it in. So I find out that they're going to be doing Rockline. Okay, I've got to see Stevie Nicks. Yeah, I've got to see Stevie Nicks. So they got security. They enter the building and they go to separate locations. 2 go in the bathroom, wink, 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 lock the door. 2 go in the kitchen, lock the door, wink, wink, wink. They come out, they're all ready. They hit the stage, or they hit the table where they're doing the show, right? So I can't really see very well from where I am. So I go out on the runway, which is right up against the window where Stevie Nicks is. And I'm watching, I'm really impressed. But I really got to get almost a selfie with Stevie. I didn't get a selfie back, no cameras, but I didn't get a selfie, but I had to get somewhere close. And so I'm at the door where they went in for the interview. They're coming out now. And it's one after another, after another, after another. And Stevie's like the second last. And I'm watching her, and I'm just, as she's getting closer, my eyes start to glass over until the point where she gets really close to me. And I realize the drugs, the alcohol, the road wear has just destroyed my vision of Stevie Nicks.
The light was off.
Oh, I could not run. I could not get that picture out of my head fast enough. It was that bad.
The nicest person I've ever met, two-way tie. I hung out with a lot of musicians before. Some of them I knew they were musicians. Other times I didn't. The times I didn't was when I went to Nashville and I'm partying with country music stars. Didn't even realize it because I didn't listen to country music. I was just some dude who liked to drink and talk sports. But back in the day, Jordan Knight of New Kids on the Block, I actually hung out with him like 4 or 5 times. I got to interview him one time. He would invite me to his concert whenever he was in town. Nice guy. But the nicest people that I've ever met, so two-way tie. One is Phil Collin, not Phil Collins, Phil Collin, the guitarist of Def Leppard.
Def Leppard.
Very, very nice man. I met him over at the Verizon Wireless Amphitheater here in town. And man, the guy talked my ear off about family, talked my ear off about American Idol. This was in the early 2000s. We're talking about TV. We were talking about music. We were talking about just being a dad.
Most
He
of these
was
guys
the
are
nicest guy.
They're down to earth. Most rock stars are down to earth. Get them out of the, I've got my security.
Yeah.
And you have to go through them to talk to them. You get them at a personal level. They're just like you and I.
The other one was Slash from Guns N' Roses. He was in town playing at the Alamo Dome. I went to go interview him one time, and he offered me a drink. He had Beefeater. He was drinking backstage, and he was
Drinking
like
Beefeater.
I was drinking Beefeater. That gin, right?
Oh my gosh! Maybe we could up it a little bit to maybe Tanqueray.
Okay, it was his, right? But he was
Beefeater.
like, "Hey, you want something to drink?" And I'm like, "Okay." So the funny thing about Slash though was that we're having a conversation before the interview, and another radio station here in town starts playing his song. Like, it was Slash's Snake Pit, and he was like starstruck of his own music. He was like, "Dude, that's my song. That's my song. Hold, what's the name of that station? Give me a second. I'm gonna give them a call and thank them for. Can we do this interview in a little bit? I gotta give them a call." And then he calls him, goes, "Dude, it's me. I'm listening to my song on your station right now. Thank you so much for playing it." And he just seemed to be
they're real, man.
So excited. This is a guy that was part of Appetite for Destruction and part of all of that stuff. Welcome to the Jungle, playing with Michael Jackson, but he got giddy over a San Antonio radio station playing one of his songs in San Antonio. Amazing. Amazing. You know what else is amazing? Bijan Robinson is amazing, because mock drafts are coming out right now saying, that whole thing about him sliding to 26, maybe being there with the Cowboys, he might not be there past pick number 10. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about Bijan, talk about the Cowboys. Jimenez and Spence, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the NFL Draft on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The pick is in. Let's go to the commissioner. Dallas Cowboys select. This is going to be a fun player to watch.
Next Thursday, join 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star for this year's NFL Draft, live from Kansas City. Who do the Cowboys and Texans pick? Does Jerry make a splash? Who goes number 1? And who's the next Mr. Irrelevant? Find out right here on your exclusive home for the Cowboys. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Gold and other precious metals stand the test of time and can help you diversify your portfolio. Jason Minix here for Noble Gold Investments. Physical assets like gold and silver have weathered countless financial storms. You have seen what has happened to some banks recently. Gold is the most stable asset outside of any government control. At Noble Gold Investments, they help protect your financial future by offering a secure and convenient way to invest in physical precious metals, rare coins, or a gold and silver IRA. Gold, silver, and other precious metals will always protect against market fluctuations. At noblegoldinvestments.com, learn how investing in precious metals help guard against inflation, hedge against the dollar, and so much more. Go to noblegoldinvestments.com. Use promo code STAR to get a free 5-ounce America the Beautiful coin with each gold or silver IRA if you qualify. noblegoldinvestments.com. That's noblegoldinvestments.com.
Hey, this is Rob Thompson here with Dwayne Sharping of Roofix. Hey, Dwayne, tell me about solar.
Well, you want solar to look beautiful. It's going to increase the value of your home. I mean, call us here at Roofix Solar Energy. Our solar is innovative. Our systems are installed just like shingles. They're really powerful, and we can really cut out in the utility bill.
Call 210 Fix Roof. It's time for solar. He said it. I'm doing it. Call 210 Fix Roof. Put it on a roof. Save some money. Call Roofix today.
Roofix.
Home of the low price guarantee.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
San Antonio is charging ahead, bucking the competition, grabbing opportunity by the horns, and watch us be relentless. This is your team. Experience more football. Experience XFL. Your San Antonio Brahmas close out the regular season against the DC Defenders at the Alamo Dome, Saturday, April 22nd at 2 p.m. Tickets on sale now. Visit xfl.com/tickets.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Smoker's Paradise is having a huge 420 sale. Thursday, April 20th only. Receive 25% off your entire purchase, excluding tobacco products. And the first 50 customers get a free goodie bag with purchase. Visit smokersparadise.com and drop by all day, all locations, Thursday for their 420 sale.
Cowboys are on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Oh, this is the segment I'm going to piss Spence off. Because we're going to hear from Dak Prescott. And Spence is of the opinion that Dak Prescott never says anything of any substance.
Give me one example of him taking a stand or saying anything that isn't expected out of the mouth of the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, you'd think someone would step out and say something. No, he is so afraid of hurting his brand. He says diddly squat.
Okay, he sounds like he works for human resources.
Yes.
For the Dallas Cowboys, right?
Better way to say it. Yep.
You know, and it's funny because they're trying to get a rise out of him. Dak Prescott was on the Adam Schefter podcast, Adam Schefter of ESPN. They were talking about the upcoming draft and lots of things involving the Dallas Cowboys. But one of the questions that came up was Bijan Robinson. Bijan Robinson, star running back from UT, going to be a first-round draft pick somewhere. A lot of people believe it could be the top of the draft. Maybe he slides down. Cowboys are sitting there at number 26. Schefter asked Dak Prescott, what do you think of Bijan Robinson?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, second to Mississippi State, I'm a Texas fan, so I've seen a lot of his game when they've been on Saturdays and able to watch him, and just a super talented guy. Not only is he great running the ball and has the speed, but has the hands and the route running ability. And yeah, I mean, that's all mock drafts. I don't pay attention to all that stuff, but I do know he's a hell of a player.
All right, Dak Prescott, let's break it down word for word here.
He's a hell of a player, man.
Do you believe when Dak Prescott says
something new I haven't heard.
that second to Mississippi State, the Longhorns are his favorite college football team, the ones that he follows the most? Do you buy into that?
Never. I mean, I have some property in the Everglades I'd like to sell you if you're interested.
George Strait said it best: oceanfront property in Arizona. There you go.
Yeah.
But so you don't believe that he's a Longhorn fan? You're saying that he's saying that for PR purposes?
I think it could have been player X from school Y. Yeah, a good player. Yeah, I watch him on Saturdays, and I I'm a fan of the school. Okay, fill in the blank, fill in the school, fill in the player. It doesn't matter with Dak.
There are some mock drafts that say that the Cowboys might actually go after A&M's running back in the second or third round, and you're going to hear.
And I love that school too.
I love Texas A&M.
I follow them. I follow them all the time.
2 hours south of Dallas. You know, we follow them all the time. Lots of Aggie fans up there in
love
Arlington.
UTSA, the Roadrunners, man. Horns up.
Horns up.
Oh, horns up, not horns up, but
birds.
Birds up. Sorry.
God bless the birds up.
Birds up. That's right.
So you don't believe him. Now, at least I buy the fact that he realizes that Bijan has handles. He can catch the ball. You know, he can burst through. Bijan, I like him is because he can do both things. He could bounce to the outside and he can bust through the offensive line. That is the thing, is that he's multi-purpose. He's a Swiss Army knife of a running back, and you don't see that very often.
He very much is. I agree with you.
Now, Stephen Jones, Cowboys exec, was talking about Bijan Robinson, and was basically asked the question, can you see Bijan playing behind Dallas's offensive line?
So hats off to him and what he's done to put himself in a position, to be drafted where he's probably going to end up being drafted, and being a local young man who's done really well for himself, played ball at the University of Texas here in our state. Hats off to him, and certainly a guy, I'm sure when, that first day is over, he's going to certainly have a team, and you never know.
You never know. That's very Jerry of him to say that.
It's very Jerry.
So You don't put any stock in any of those two sound bites right there.
Well, if Steven says something, I believe him. Okay?
Now Steven is legit.
No,
when he's talking about what he's talking about.
Yeah, I don't think Steven is trying to be benign in any direction. He doesn't know where Bijan's going to end up, but he's proactive to think that maybe, hey, listen, anything's possible, and anything is possible. For Dak, it could have been, a defensive back that he'd never even go up against. And, he plays at, Texas A&M, our point earlier, I see him every Saturday afternoon. And it didn't matter with Dak. But with Steven, absolutely. I think if they were able to find a way to get Bijan, I think it's great for every obvious reason.
When it comes to Bijan, it's one of those things where you need to build a team around him to some extent, because he can do so much that he's going to take the vast majority of carries. So there's not going to be much of a need for an RB2. This is like getting a guy like, to some extent, a hybrid. This is a weird hybrid of Derrick Henry and Austin Eckler. Maybe not as good of a pass catcher as Austin Eckler is, but somebody that you could throw out into the flat and go see what he can do, right? He can catch the ball. And again, it takes two people to bring this guy down. I'm a big fan of Bijan Robinson, and it's probably because I do watch UT. I do cheer for UT football, but you do see the brilliance that is there. You do see that he's head and shoulders above every other running back that's there.
All right, so let's dive into that for a second. What do you think the chances are that he's available in some form or fashion for the Cowboys? Slim and none?
Slim to none.
Okay. So what about Eckler? What about trading for him?
Well, are you willing to have a running back that's going to be making north of $6 or $7 million per year? Miles Sanders signed 4 years, $24 million. That's the going rate right now for running backs.
Okay.
And that I wouldn't mind.
We're trading for him, so we're going to give up something for him.
Right. And you'd probably have to give up at least a second rounder. Still a young guy.
Right. Is that the worst trade?
It's not the worst trade in the world. It's more the salary behind it. I think the draft capital is perfectly fine for it. By the way, I'm looking at some odds makers. According to Caesars Sportsbook, they have set the over-under on Bijan Robinson being taken at 15.5. 15.5. I'll take the under on that, because a lot of the mock drafts that have come out right now are suggesting that, yes, that Bijan will actually go pretty high. Todd McShay of ESPN thinks number 10 to the Eagles. CBS Sports, their mock draft release this week, says as high as number 8 to the Atlanta Falcons. I want to see Bijan go to two teams. Like, if it's not the Cowboys, two teams. One, the Eagles, just simply to piss off Cowboy fans. Eagles right now have 2 first-round draft picks. They've got 10 and they've got 30. The second team, and it might be the number 1 team now that I think about it, I'd love to see him play for the Detroit Lions. I'd love for him to be what carries them over the top, and suddenly that Lions team is now an 11-6 type of team and wins the NFC North.
So you're in support of him making something out of his career in one conversation. The other one, you're looking forward to just the antagonistic side of what it means to being in Philly with the Eagles, and what it means to a Dallas Cowboys or all the fans that are Longhorn Nation.
Yeah, gotta twist the knife just a little bit.
Always looking to twist that knife.
We're going to 3:00 here on Jimenez and Spence. The Blitz is up after us from 3 to 7. When we come back, let's talk about Draymond Green, because the hammer was dropped. Draymond Green out for Game 3, not because of injury, but because of suspension. Jimenez and Spence on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
San Antonio's.
The Phoenix Suns evened up their playoff series with the LA Clippers last night. Series now tied at a game apiece. Booker and Durant combined for 63 points. Draymond Green suspended for Game 3 of the series between the Warriors and Kings. And tonight, the Astros try to inch closer to 500. They're taking on the Toronto Blue Jays. First pitch is at 7:10.
Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Corey area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing, Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at tsaog.com.
When your business needs an electrician, for over 35 years, the family-owned Hill Electric has served San Antonio. Powered by relationships with dedicated estimators who analyze the issue, research cost-effective solutions, and clearly communicate the options without charging you a dime. A proven process that allows you to continue focusing on your unique purpose. Call Hill Electric at 210-404-9074. That's 404-9074. Or hill-electric.com.
At Lowe's, we're always bringing pros more ways to save on the brands you trust. Right now, buy a DeWalt 20-volt Power Stack Max 2-pack battery for $199. Get a select DeWalt Bear tool free with savings starting at $139. Plus, you'll always save big on job lot quantities when buying select building supplies in bulk. Because Lowe's knows savings, Lowe's knows pros. The selection varies by location while supplies last. Lowe's reserves the right to limit quantities. Discount taken at time of purchase. Battery and charger not included with free items. Valid 5-3.
Guys, fellas, men, do you want a better sex life? Roman has genuine medication that helps you achieve and maintain a strong erection. Roman has discreet wipes that help you last 4 times longer in bed. Roman has testosterone testing and treatment. Treating low testosterone can help revive your sex drive. So men, what are you waiting for? For a better sex life, go to ro.co/bettersex. Do it today and get 20% off. That's ro.co/bettersex.
Netflix, Amazon Prime, HBO, Showtime. How many streaming services are you paying for? If only there was a way to track and cancel subscriptions easily. Well, there is. Just download the Rocket Money app. Rocket Money organizes your subscriptions by due date and notifies you when something is coming up. From there, decide whether to keep it or cancel it with just a tap in the app. To find out more about Rocket Money, go to rocketmoney.com/save or download the Rocket Money app from the Apple app or Google Play stores. Rocket Money, the money app that works for you.
I've always gotten tons of UTIs. Cranberry products never worked for me, and I was desperate for a way to be proactive. I'm Jenna Ryan, CEO and founder of Eucora. We've worked with doctors to develop effective urinary tract health products. Eucora is helping over 100,000 women stay healthy. Ready to join them? Get 30% off at eucora.com/radio. That's UQORA.com/radio.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
It's showtime. It's Jimenez and Spence on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Jimenez and Spence on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, on the go at ESPNSA.com. We're streaming live on YouTube. Sometimes you get tweeted at and it makes you laugh. Jacob reaches out, says, I almost got stuck in an elevator a while ago, and it got me thinking, how long do you think you can go stuck in an elevator with Jimenez?
Now that is the funniest question I've heard all day.
And then he follows it up on a subsequent tweet asking the question, what if it's hot and you got to start undressing?
So the pepperoni starts popping out?
I've never been in a stuck elevator, and I know you're claustrophobic. That would probably be torture for you.
Well, I'm on medicine, so it's not like, well, to answer your question regarding claustrophobia, yes, in a unfortunate situation like that, I probably would get a little stressed. At the same time, that's why they have the escape route up at top, up top, and just, throw some people up there and start yelling.
Well, let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
If you were stuck in an elevator with me, how long could you last? Because we're in this elevator right now, because the room that we're in right now are glass windows all around us.
Well,
we're basically in the size of an elevator.
Well,
maybe a little bit bigger.
It's 2 elevators. I would say 2 elevators. You don't want to probably see that, because I would start throwing things, because you wouldn't shut up. You would keep talking and keep talking and keep talking as I'm trying to figure out how the hell to get out of this place.
And I'd be saying, long story short,
back in the day, when I was the first time I was stuck in an elevator back in the day, you don't want to see that.
No,
you don't want to see that. So for you to set us up in this conversation, my guess is we're going to get into an elevator and the next time it's going to get stuck and I'm going to be blaming you.
The funny thing about these tweets, though, is that they make it sound like they don't listen to this show. They do. They do listen to this show.
Nobody listens to this show. Nobody.
You'd be surprised.
Nobody.
You'd be surprised.
Outside of your wife.
Outside of my wife, yes. It's like the Truman Show. I'm doing this, and it's not actually existing out there. No, people listen to this show. We get flagged down all the time. Can't go anywhere in San Antonio these days.
So are you really Mike Jimenez? I've seen some pictures on Twitter and Facebook and YouTube, but I'm not sure. Are you the real one? You look a little you look a little heavier on TV.
I'm not saying that I get stopped as often as Joe Right Angle, but it happens from time to time, and I enjoy it.
Does it put 5-10 pounds on you on YouTube, or is it about the same?
Yeah, radio makes me lose 30 pounds. That's basically it. By the way, let's talk some sports because Ramona Shelburne of ESPN says that sources tell her the Golden State Warriors are furious about the suspension of Draymond Green. Draymond Green out for game 3 of the series between the Warriors and the Kings. Warriors down 0-2 in that series as it goes back to San Francisco. I'm sorry, but what Joe Dumars said in the rationale, the reasoning for the suspension was, you are a repeat offender, Draymond Green. It was excessive. It was over the top. And as you mentioned before, Spence, it wasn't just what he did on the court by stomping on Domantas Sabonis' chest.
You could even make the case that the one game wasn't based on him stepping on his chest because, you could have the argument he just got caught up in semantics and, and he didn't know where to step and he was already moving forward. The one game is based on what he did after the fact, egging on the fans at the at the arena, jumping up on the chair. I'm surprised he didn't. I'm surprised he didn't hit the purple light on the way out.
Right. That's funny.
Can you imagine if he hit just so they wouldn't have the luxury of hitting the purple light?
That's funny. By the way, the purple light's beautiful.
It's great.
I love the tradition.
Considering there was no tradition to even have it. Now there's tradition, and the players then have to win the game. They go hit it. My guess is here's what's happening. One game, sometime soon, some player from an opposing team is going to hit that damn thing before it's supposed to go off, and then they're not going to be able to light it. And what's going to hit.
It's going to be like when T.O. went to, the Cowboys and spiked the ball on the star. That's what's going to happen when it comes to it. No, Draymond Green, I mean, come on, man. He's second in the league this year with 17 technical fouls. This is somebody that has over 160, I believe, for his career. Draymond Green is a fool, right? The guy plays and acts as though he's on WWE. There's no difference between the two. Gets thrown out of the game instead of just, saying bye to his teammates and going to the tunnel.
Oh, he said bye to his teammates after he got tossed. He went and saw everyone, high five it, and then he had some choice words for the fans. But yeah,
it shouldn't take a minute and a half to get from the bench to the tunnel, is what I'm saying.
And he shouldn't make it a show. So the original question is the one game based on anything specific? I think it's based on the execution after he stomped. To my point, if that's what that is, and the history of Draymond Green, why wasn't it 2?
Right. It could have been worse. And I'm looking at these articles or these tweets rather attributed to Ramona Shelburne of ESPN, basically saying they want to know why Joe Dumars is the one who made this proclamation against Draymond Green. They're saying we want to hear that the Golden State Warriors want to hear from Commissioner Adam Silver, and I guess that's their way of appealing this whole thing. Draymond Green is somebody that is completely over the top about everything. And
you ever see Steph Curry doing that?
No. But I think that the argument that the Warriors have is, look, we didn't instigate this. Draymond Green did not instigate the whole situation. It was instigated by the fact that Domantas Sabonis was on the ground, on his back, and the ball's going the opposite side of the court, and he grabbed Draymond by the ankle and held on with both hands.
But you're saying that the ankle aspect and stomping on the chest aspect was the reason he got the 1-game suspension. I'm saying that is, if that was just what it is, you could make the argument, and there was no after effect on the court, egging on the fans, embarrassing him and the Warriors franchise. If you take that off the table, you could sit there and say, well, it was just heat of the game. He got tossed. Let's move on. There's no suspension. It's the after that caused the suspension.
Now, Sabonis did get assessed a technical foul for doing what he did.
Yeah.
And a lot of the Kings fans out there were furious about it all because all they see is the stomping. They don't see the fact that Sabonis was the one who instigated it. So I'm not saying that Sabonis is innocent about it all, because he never should have been stomped on. But maybe Sabonis is smart enough to know that if he does something like this, Draymond's going to do something stupid.
Every team in the NBA knows the hot buttons of other teams.
Mm-hmm.
Draymond Green is the weak link and the soft underbelly of where you go if you want to get something, take advantage of an opportunity. And it probably is going to have to change if the Warriors want to see this continue, in the grand fashion it has. He has to change, or the Warriors will not be there.
Did you know that Draymond Green signed a 4-year, $99.7 million deal to stay with the Golden State Warriors? He's down to the final year next season. It is a player option. Then he becomes an unrestricted free agent the following year at age 34. One thing that I've noticed about this series is that I don't think the Kings are scared of the Warriors. I thought that the Warriors would show up, be like, dude, we got all the rings. We're the dynasty of the past 10 years.
Kings are not
and
afraid of
just
anybody.
roll them. And the Kings are like, give us your best shot. Golden State goes out there, goes up 6-7 points, punches them in the face. 3-pointer by Steph, 3-pointer by Clay. And the Warriors just take it. I mean, the Kings just take it, and they just keep coming. De'Aaron Fox, Sabonis, all of these guys, Monk, all of these guys are just simply not afraid of Steph and Clay. And I think part of it's because Steph and Clay, because they still appear to be young, they're not young anymore. They're in their mid-30s now. It's a different game.
It is a different game. What do you think happens game 3?
Honestly,
I
think the Kings win.
So let's just play that card. The Kings win, it's over. All you get is one more win.
Right.
It would be the greatest collapse in the history of collapse if the Kings didn't wrap it up in some form or fashion, right?
The Kings have to win this game, because if you don't have the defensive anchor for the Warriors there and you lose that game, that is tragic.
I would go a different approach on that. Should they? Will they? I don't know. Considering Draymond is suspended for the game, everything points to they go up 3-0. But you're back in Warriors country.
The champions against the wall.
Champions against the wall. The rings against the wall. Yada, yada, yada. As long as you come out of there with one win, they're going to be hyped. They're going to be freaking jacked like no tomorrow, Draymond Green or not. Maybe you let them get, or let's just take 4 quarters. Let's get, first quarter, Warriors are going to be winning.
Yeah, Warriors, place that bet. First quarter goes to the Warriors. They'll be up by 8.
And they could even be up by 10 at halftime. The difference maker will be third and fourth quarter. Can they sustain it, or is this just a tease by Sacramento?
Now, keep in mind, the Kings have a road record this year of 25-16. That's pretty good. A winning percentage of that high on the road is pretty good. The Warriors, though, are 33-8 at home.
But you always want to talk about Vegas and play the odds. Okay. All you need is one.
Yeah, just get one.
All you need is one.
Get one. So you're lighting the light when you get back.
So if they go up 3-0, they're not even going to show up for game 4.
Right.
They want to close it out at home. They could lose by 30 game 4.
Golden State favored by 6 points, according to Vegas odds makers. That seems about right, though.
It's not a surprise, no.
Going back home, but man, the Warriors, they look old. They look old. The Phoenix Suns look like they're going to be struggling against the Clippers right now. They won game 2 yesterday.
Looked pretty good last night.
They looked good yesterday. Booker and Durant went off yesterday. But the Clippers, though, were up by 10 in the second half.
Don't you love Westbrook and what's his face?
And Kawhi?
Yeah, no, not Kawhi. The antagonism between Westbrook
and Chris Paul.
No, against Suns forward. He used to play with OKC. Mind blank.
Durant.
Not Dre.
I said Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant. Okay. Yeah. Kevin Durant. Right. Yeah. Kevin Durant. Those two, the antagonism between those two is absolutely must watch.
I can't stand Durant. I just can't. I don't respect it. And I know that he went to UT, and there are a lot of UT fans that are listening, and they're like, oh, no, Durant's fine. He's fine. Durant is probably a top 25 player of all time. I mean, there was nobody like him before, and he changed the game a bit. But, man, getting his rings with a 73-9 team that had knocked him out of the playoffs the year before, so tacky. So tacky. Don't respect it at all. Not at all. Few minutes and Spence on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. When we come back, let's talk a little bit more about the NFL draft. Just 8 days away. We'll get you prepped up also for the Blitz. This is Minutes and Spence on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's R&R in the morning, tomorrow at 6.
Tomorrow on R&R in the morning, we continue our NBA playoff breakdowns.
RJ Ochoa stops by at 8:30 as we look forward to the draft. It won't be any fun till you get there. The party starts at 6.
R&R in the morning, tomorrow at 6 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
The once-a-year jewelry event everyone waits for is here. Starting Friday, Diamonds Direct takes value to a whole new level with an extra 20% savings on just about everything. Rings, earrings, bands, bracelets, and more. You get Diamonds Direct's already unbeatable price, plus an extra 20% off. Thousands of engagement ring mountings included. Plus, acclaimed jewelry designers will be in store with an expanded selection. All the latest styles and trends, all on sale. It doesn't get any better than this. Diamonds Direct store-wide spring event starting Friday. Get details at diamondsdirect.com.
I'm Howard Mackler, founder of Innovation Refunds. You've heard me talking about the payroll tax refund for months. If you own a business, even if you've asked your CPA about this, you owe it to yourself to take another look. We provide a licensed and insured tax attorney who evaluates your company at my expense to determine eligibility. Businesses of all types can qualify, so go to getrefunds.com to potentially get a payroll tax refund of up to $26,000 per employee. Download the Innovation Refunds app or go to getrefunds.com, getrefunds.com.
I want to welcome our newest partner of R&R in the morning and the Sports Star team. You may have heard of them. They're located just off of 281 in Bitters in a big, newly remodeled space. San Antonio's premier card house, SA Card House. That's right. All of our poker playing listeners tuning in, SA Card House is a must visit. It offers a beautiful atmosphere, clean, inviting, top-notch customer service for your poker playing pleasure. SA Card House brings San Antonio a completely new vibe to card houses, offering different games for all skill levels, from beginners to professional level poker players. SA Card House welcomes all. If you have not seen them yet, SA Card House is located just off 281 North at Bitters. Has an attached full bar and grill with made-to-order daily specials. This is not your typical card house. SA Card House is a private social club that is accepting new memberships. Visit sacardhouse.com for more info and stop in for a quick drink to check the space out. SA Card House at Bitters and 281.
Listen to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star on your Amazon or Google smart speaker and just say, Alexa, play Jimenez and Spence on San Antonio Sports Star.
Thrill is gone. The thrill is gone away.
Jimenez and Spence at 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Those Texas Rangers, baby, they look good this year. 11-6 on the season. Right now, up 5-3 in the 7th inning. Rangers in first place in the AL West.
I will take it. Obviously, the games play here, not today, but they play here about 90% of the time. Also remember that they're playing the Royals. Okay.
And they've been playing the Royals a lot this year.
And that's the last time they play the Royals today.
We've got 3 games on the NBA docket tonight, NBA playoffs. You got the Lakers against the Grizzlies. John Morant, questionable for that game. The Lakers stole game 1. LeBron looked good. I think it continues. They'll go up 2-0. Spence, you got tonight.
The coming up at 3:00, we're going to give away the tickets with the Blitz for the Brahmas.
Yes.
So stay tuned for that after 3:00 with the boys, the Blitz. Regarding Lakers, let's see here. I watch LeBron, just, I have my issues with LeBron that just annoy me. And that starts with him sitting at the 3-point arc, just, popping threes till he finally hits one. Okay. Play some basketball. If you're the king, then why don't you play some freaking basketball? I think it's over for Memphis.
I think so too. There's just something wrong about that whole season. John Morant, all the trouble he got in.
Now they've played better without John Morant.
They do from time to time. The Heat are taking on the Bucks. The Heat stole that game. No Tyler Hero because he broke his fingers diving for a ball. Again, if you're doing anything with Grayson Allen in the middle of it, just get away. The guy is going to hurt you, or you're going to get hurt just being around him. Giannis Antetokounmpo, the MVP candidate, is questionable, got upgraded to questionable. He fell on his back in game 1, played only 11 minutes. If Giannis doesn't play, game's over. They're not going to win that game. But I'm hopeful that Giannis goes out there and plays. I'll take the Bucks to even it up 1-1.
The Blitz coming up at 3:00. They'll have your tickets for the Brahmas. I think they got some really big guests coming up today, don't they? This afternoon.
I have not talked to them today, though.
You're over there laughing, giggling with them.
Oh, we're laughing and giggling a little bit, but it's always because we're just palling around. I mean, it's basically.
So you're gonna ask the big question. What you got coming up?
It's a frat house over here when it comes to things. Last game tonight's going to be the Timberwolves taking on Spence's Denver Nuggets.
Does anyone care about that series?
I would want to see the T-Wolves do well.
Does anybody care about the 76ers series?
The 76ers series is awful to watch. To be honest with you, I'm all about the Lakers, Grizzlies, Kings, Warriors.
Yes.
And Suns.
Yes.
Clippers.
Yes.
That's basically
those
it.
3. No one cares about Milwaukee either. Unless you're in Milwaukee and Miami.
No Tyler Hero. And again, I bet you tomorrow there'll be breaking news about Draymond Green. I got a feeling something's going to happen. I got a feeling that Adam Silver might have a change of heart. Something is going to come up.
They're not going to take
the players' union going to come up and raise a stink.
They're not going to. If they did that,
dude,
oh my gosh, they would be freaking hammered.
I got a feeling also that you and I need to have a little bit of a side bet.
What's that?
Give me some odds on the Houston Texans trading one of their picks for Trey Lance. Give me some odds, not even money, not a $10 or a beer bet. Let's say between now and the end of the draft. You know what? I'll take it as a beer bet.
They're not doing it. Okay. end of the draft. They're going to do it either before the draft or draft day.
But between
27th.
now and the end of the draft, give me between now and next Saturday that Trey Lance will be the quarterback of the Houston Texans.
How much?
Just a beer.
How about let's make it a case?
Just a beer.
So you want to have a bet, but you don't want to stick your.
I'm asking for it. I will say this though.
6-pack then.
Just a beer.
Okay.
You
are just absolutely unbelievable.
Just a beer.
If you're gonna make
Slackers. Just a beer. No. Because if I'm gonna make a bet like that,
I bet it's Slackers on draft night.
There you go. Okay. There you go.
2.
And it's gonna be over. Then we're going to be at the Slackers. You said the Thousand Oaks location for the first round of the draft. That's going to be fun. Come hang out with us. Jason and Joe are up next. I'm sure they're going to have an amazing show. This was an above average show. I like today's show. Today's show was a solid A. Solid A. I'll take it.
Your takes, though, still to this day, will always amaze me of just how, Trey Lance is going to be the next quarterback for the Houston Texans.
Well, I'm piggybacking off a conversation I had with Pledge on that.
Yeah, exactly. I knew what it was. Now, Pledger is back. Okay, he has a little side work going on. So all of a sudden, he gets the wink, wink, and it's because of Pledge.
We're connecting the dots. It's a team effort here.
I might have been a night baby, but I wasn't born last night.
All right, man. That is Tim Spence. Follow him on Twitter at Spence ESPNSA. My name's Mike Jimenez. Follow me at Mike ESPNSA. Jason and Joe are up next for the Blitz. This has been fun. See ya.
It's Jimenez and Spence. Follow Mike Jimenez at Mike ESPNSA. Tim Spence at Spence ESPNSA. And always at ESPNSA.com.
See you around, kid.
KTFM Floresville.
If you have joint pain and they're telling you that surgery